Juarez, the pistol back. There goes Bell. He's looking to throw. Throws off to his left side. It's going to be intercepted. I believe that's number 22, Ryan Clifton, who's got some room on the left side. The 10, the 5. Touchdown, Calaveras.
Ryan Clifton with a great play on the ball. The quarterback, he undercut that route and just picked it off and took it, 45, 50 yards up the field. A great play by Clifton.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
With Coach Val. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Football with Coach Val. I'm your host, Gil Valtierra, the voice of Calaveras football. And what an episode we have in store for you today. It is football season, folks. The 2026 Motherlode League preview episode. We are going to talk and hear from every head coach in the Motherlode League and some top players from each team to find out what we have in store and what we could expect in the Motherlode League here coming up in just a week from today, Friday, August 28th. The defending Division 5A CIF state champion Calaveras varsity Red Hawk football team will be on the road at Bradshaw Christian to start off their 2026 campaign. In the studio with me today is current sports editor of the Calaveras Enterprise and the CalaverasEnterprise.com, Mr. Guy Dossi, and longtime Calaveras football coach and color commentator on KVGC radio for the Calaveras varsity football games on Friday nights, Mr. Greg Stark. Let's hear it for him. Gentlemen, after the last couple of years, you guys not picking Calaveras, I'm surprised you still get an applause.
I'm surprised you keep asking us back. I mean, that just affords, it shows he can't afford anyone else.
It just shows you how smart fans. So.
Well, okay. Well, I'm not going to deny that, but so let's talk a little bit about what we, the Calaveras faithful and everybody out there listening, can expect out of the Motherlode League. Last year, Guy and Greg, you guys picked Somerville to win the Motherlode League. And, of course, yours truly, Coach Val, picked, correctly I might add, Calaveras to win the Motherlode League.
I defy you to prove that's correct. I don't believe I said that. I don't think that.
Throw a hard ditto in there.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I don't recall getting older, but I don't think that's true, and I defy you to prove me wrong.
Okay, we'll get to that. Time will tell. Anyways, what's going on in the Motherlode League? We got a couple brand new head coaches, that's for sure. Nicholas Kendall over at River Islands High School, brand new head coach there. We're going to find out and hear from him what's going on over at River Islands. And then now Coach Leveroux's retired, so Cole Elkins, a former Somerville guy himself, takes over the helm over at Somerville High School. Guys, we're looking at third year now after realignment, the new Motherlode League and what it looks like. And it's pretty much the first 2 years, as expected, played out with the top three: Calaveras, Somerville, Linden, with Somerville winning it all 2 years ago, Calaveras winning it all last year. Maybe it's Linden this year. I don't know. Will anybody be able to move into that top three? I'm thinking there's some question marks with Somerville with the brand new head coach. They got a sophomore quarterback. I know they got a really good O-line, D-line, some good skill positions. But that sophomore quarterback, we're going to have to find out. He's going to have to mature really, really, really fast if Somerville's going to make a move. And then, maybe this is the year for Big Valley to stop being the best of the rest and move into that top three spot. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Any comments before we start hearing from one of our coaches?
Well, I mean, it has been, like you said, the last couple of years, it's been those three and everyone else. What's kind of surprised me is that the bottom of the league hasn't really beaten up on one another like I thought. It's not like, Bret Hart got Riverbank this year, then Riverbank got revenge last year, or River Islands got, it kind of, the last 2 years has kind of been the same wins and losses up and down the league. So there hasn't been the, as much, I mean, the games have been closer, but the final standings have kind of been the same the last couple of years. And same thing with the top, those three have been kind of the same, but I thought there would be a little bit more back and forth in the standings between those other four teams than we've seen.
Yeah. Greg?
You may hit the nail on the head with the bottom consistency being, pretty much the same. I'm interested to see what the new coaches are going to be this year. It's always exciting to have a new coach come in. Certainly for River Islands, that's a good time to turn things around. And for Somerville, can they keep the momentum going with the new coach, or is he going to keep the new systems? How are those going to play out?
Right.
The known but unknown commodities of those. I think that's what I'm most interested in this year, is to see how that's going to play out, and are they going to make a big impact?
But real quick with River Islands, the thing that's tough is what's this, their fourth year?
Fourth, yeah.
And you already have your second coach. So, you want to create a culture and you want to create consistency, and 3 years in or 4 years in, you're starting over. It's a tough thing for players, that have bought in, especially with a brand new program. Where at Somerville, Somerville's been playing since the 30s. There's been a lot of coaches. They just won a state title. There's already excitement. Hey, new guy comes in. Let's keep this train rolling. I think it'll be more interesting to see how River Islands does with a new coach with such a young program, more so than Somerville that already has the expectation of winning.
Right.
River Islands, just to stay with him for a second, they have the biggest powder keg. When we were there watching the game, the fans and the students were absolutely ecstatic to have a football team, to have a program, and they were doing not great on the football field, but you had no idea in the stands. That electricity, certainly with the right coach, only 4-year program, that type of backing and electricity with that is just going to be. That's exciting. I think that's the biggest.
They're definitely growing and growing fast, and they're
Right.
they're located in a new community that is in proximity to densely populated areas. They're
Right.
a stone's throw from Manteca and Tracy and Lathrop and all that whole surrounding area. So the pool of athletes that they could draw from is extensive.
Well, but also, and by the time the 4 years of this current league is up, they're going to be too big of a school to be in the league anyway.
Right.
But and we'll get into it when we break down River Islands, but losing your coach also lost some players too. So that's another thing. You go, all right, hey, on paper last year, you go, hey, we're gonna have A, B, and C are gonna be our senior leaders, or these guys coming up from the JV we're looking forward to. Your coach splits, goes somewhere else. A couple of guys follow. Now you have some holes to fill. So that could be kind of detrimental to them. I mean, I know something very similar like that happened over at Somerville. New coach, some players want to go elsewhere, and that's what happens.
Right. Well, let's find out. Let's hear from some of these teams. We're going to go in alphabetical order, so no playing favorites or nothing like that.
You start
So
with Somerville?
we're gonna start off with Big Valley Christian. I had an opportunity to go down to Modesto and talk with Coach Adam Lima and a couple of his players. Let's see what he had to say. Okay, so I'm now talking with number 2, senior running back, inside linebacker, Ben Kirshner. Ben, appreciate your time. I know you're getting ready for the up-and-coming season. Tell me a little bit about how you felt last season went for your team, and then what's your outlook on the up-and-coming season, which is your senior year.
Last season, I thought we could have done great, but we just kind of gave up almost, and we had a lot of stuff going on through the season, injuries or just things going on in the lives of the families of the team.
Okay.
And I think it could have gone great, but we just didn't give it our all. And me in particular didn't get to play last year, so I didn't get to contribute as much as I wanted to.
Okay.
But this year I'm hoping and I'm expecting that we're going to do great and just having like an amazing season.
Okay. Have you set any personal goals for yourself for this coming season where you feel like if I achieve this, it's going to help my team have some success this year?
Not any really number goals.
Okay.
Like I would love to just do the best I can, but mostly just every game I want to play through the entire game and not give up in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, but just play the whole game out like full-heartedly.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. And then last question, when you look at the schedule for the coming season, is there anybody that pops out at you where you kind of maybe put an asterisk or highlight that one and say, ooh, I can't wait for that one?
Not really, but I'm expecting that every game's going to be good, and I'm hoping that we win every game this year.
Okay. All right. Well, we've been talking to number 2 running back, inside linebacker, senior Ben Kirshner. All right. And appreciate your time and best of luck in 2026.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I'm talking now with senior quarterback for Big Valley Christian High School's varsity football team, number 3, Travis Lima. Travis, appreciate your time. Yeah, you bet. So tell me a little bit in your own words how you felt last season went for Big Valley Christian. You You played and got a bowl game at the end there. Big game for you, actually, in the bowl game against Waterford. 3 touchdowns, over 200 yards passing. Tell me about how you felt last season went, and then your goals for the up-and-coming season for 2026, your senior season.
The way I saw it last year is that we had a lot of talent on the team, and like we had a lot of good big goals. And I felt like when we had fell short of those goals, like losing a game that we should have won, it just set the whole morale bad. And I felt like that was kind of the strong suit of why we were struggling and that we couldn't get anything going, because like the talent was there, we just couldn't keep things going. And my goals for this year. I really want to have a winning record is my biggest goal. I want to stay as a unified team. But my biggest goal ever is to make sure that whenever I'm playing in a game, I spread the ball around, I'm reading, I'm staying focused. I feel like a lot of the times I tend to get, very like repetitive. I find a person, I stick to them, and I feel like that if I can kind of break out of that a little bit, I feel like I'd be more of a weapon this year.
Okay, excellent. And then as far as your teammates go, who are some of the other teammates on your squad that you're going to kind of lean on this coming season to help you have success?
I'm leaning on a lot of guys this year. It's not necessarily one dude or the big dude this year. I got a lot of guys. My slot man receiver, he's number 13, Nathan Harvey. I think he's going to be a huge player this year, and I think that if I can get him out in space, he's going to be a great player. My running back, Ben Kirchner, he is very elusive, and I think that if I can get him out there, get him in space too, he can be a very decent problem for the other team.
Okay.
So I just want to spread the ball around.
You bet. And then looking at the schedule, I mean, you guys been in the Motherlode League now last couple of years. Calaveras went and won this whole thing, state championship, and you guys played them tough. Yeah. Is there anybody on that schedule where you look at and you go, all right, I can't wait for that one?
I want to play Calaveras.
You want to play Calaveras?
Yeah, I love Calaveras is a very strong school, and I feel like anytime, they bring their best every time, and like I feel like I really want to show them again that we're competitive, and I think we can compete with them.
Excellent. All right, well, we've been talking to Travis Lima, the quarterback at Big Valley Christian High School, going into his senior season. He's been the starting quarterback now, 3 years now, right? Yeah. All right, well, I wish you the absolute best of luck in 2026 and lots of success for you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. All right, I'm talking with senior offensive lineman and defensive end, number 55, Lucas Picanso from Big Valley Christian's varsity football team. Lucas, thanks for spending a couple moments with me. Tell me a little bit about, in your own words, how you felt last season went, and then your outlook on the 2026 campaign for your senior year coming up.
Yeah, well, last season, we went into it with high hopes, and then just as the season went on, we just didn't have the morale or team mindset together. So even though the talent was there, we just struggled to have the effort and mindset to win. And so going into this next season, even though we may not have certain key talents that we had last year, I think overall we work a lot better as a team. We have better chemistry. I just think we have a better mindset and more drive this year to perform and do well.
Okay. On the outside looking in, I watch you guys play, and I look at your team, and I say, man, those guys are physical. They get out there and they hit guys, and they're very physical. Tell me a little bit about that aspect of your team and maybe the culture around here when it comes to when it's time to get out there and get the job done. Obviously you got to put in some time in the weight room like you're doing today, right? Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that aspect of the game.
Just always every day at practice when we have our pads on, it's just constant ingrained in our memory that hit as hard as you can, 11 hats to the ball, never give up on a play until you hear that whistle. Just that mindset our coaches constantly drive into us.
Okay.
To just constantly keep hitting as hard as we possibly can.
I like it. I like it a lot. So tell me, have you set any personal goals for yourself for the coming season where you feel like if I achieve that goal, it's going to help my team have success?
Yeah, personally, the big goal for me this year is just letting up as few sacks as I possibly can, giving my quarterback a good, ample time to throw the ball, and then also just running the ball, giving good holes, and giving the running back the ability to perform that I know he can.
It all starts up front, right?
Yeah.
Good. So tell me a little bit about when you see the schedule, anybody pop out at you and you go, okay, I can't wait for that one. That's going to be the one I really get psyched up for?
Yeah, really just on that calendar, the game against Calaveras, defending state champs, and I just feel like every year we've played them since I've been in high school. We've always put up a tough fight, and even though the scoreboard hasn't always looked great, I just feel like they're a team we've always been able to compete with. So I think if we have the right mindset and right determination, we can certainly do what we came here to do.
Excellent. I like it. I think those are great goals. All right. Really appreciate you spending a few moments with me. And tell me again, it's your last name again.
Picanso.
Picanso. Okay. I like that. Big fan of the podcast. Let's Talk Football with Coach Val. Keep listening. Spread it out to your teammates. Let them know, with all about football in the Motherlode League. I appreciate your time, and I wish you the best of luck in 2026.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so I'm now sitting with head varsity football coach at Big Valley Christian High School, Coach Adam Lima. Coach, appreciate your time. I know it's a busy time of year getting your team ready. Coach, last year 3-8 overall, 3-3 in the Motherlode League. You beat Bret Hart, River Islands, Riverbank, played Calaveras tough in a 28-0 game, and that game seemed much closer than that. Tell me in your own words how you felt the season went last year, and then your outlook on this coming season in 2026.
I think for us, last year was kind of disappointing coming off a pretty good year the year before.
Mm-hmm.
We, got into the section semifinals. Being a small Christian school, we, had some issues, and we had a lot of kids transfer out, and not because of football or whatever, personal reasons.
Sure.
So we lost a lot of talent that transferred to other schools like Gregory and Houston. So I think last year was kind of tough for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think the boys were feeling that a lot more than they ever let on, and it showed. They didn't really go into it with their backs bowed they showed that against Calaveras, but everybody else, it was kind of a learning process for all of us. It was a tough, difficult year, but we just couldn't stay healthy, especially at the running back position last year. We had a lot of talent, but they just couldn't keep them on the field, and so we battled through a lot of difficulty and turmoil when it comes to that kind of stuff. So that kind of led to our definite fall off.
Okay.
We struggled a lot in the early part of the year. We played 3 games to start the year that we should have absolutely won, and we just didn't.
Right. Coach, do you feel like now that your team knows what to expect in the Motherlode League, that they're kind of right on the cusp of taking it to the next level in this league? I mean, you guys are very physical. You've got talent. You're one of the smaller schools in the league. You only got a couple hundred students. I think last year Seabeds was like 229. Most everybody, and everyone else in the league are like 700, 500, 600, 700 kids. So you guys are very physical, tough program, well coached. So kudos to you guys and your staff. But do you feel like okay, hey, we know what to expect now, and we're ready to go?
Yeah, I think for us, we're right smack in the middle, right? We're definitely, you got 3. You got us, and then you got 3. It's kind of the way it's played out the last 2 years.
Right.
And I think for us, it's really every year it's like, okay, how do we break into the top 3? Because they're really the standard of the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have been year after year. I know River Islands is 100% on the rise. They're going to be really fascinating, I think, this year. But it's really about Calaveras, Somerville, and Linden. And
Right.
we are basically, a third their size or less. And so we really do. We rely on, and we're a school that does not scholarship athletes. We literally take the students that walk through the door.
Right.
And so we try to develop mentality through our youth program and through a lot of things. This is kind of who we are. And we're undersized out there a lot. I mean, I know we had a couple big dudes last year, but for the most part, we're pretty undersized. But the kids fight. I think they take it as a challenge every year because I think there really is something to playing in a great league.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're not one of the top fish, there's a lot of pride.
Sure.
And we're coming from a really, really difficult league situation before the MLL. And the MLL might have been aiming a little high, for sure. But at the same time, I think there's a challenge in that the boys like.
Sure.
I think they like that. They like that, hey, Somerville, hey, Somerville's coming to town this year, right? We're starting our league season with Somerville.
Right.
And Somerville, we have not played them well. I think we're on 6 in a row.
Well, and they've got a new coach this year, so there's some question marks about what's going to happen there. So that'll be interesting to see. You mentioned about them being the top 3, and then you being right in the midst of that. If anything, this could be the year that you break into that.
It is going to be fascinating because it's high school football.
Right.
Right. Classes. A lot of times when you're a small school, now 700 sounds like a lot, but that's still a small school too.
Right.
And I think Somerville's more like in the 500s, right? But it's but the thing is, man, you get a class that graduates, and suddenly the entire mentality changes. I mean, I look at my group this year. I had a very talented group of seniors last year, but this group of seniors is just very different. They have a whole different approach. They have a whole different attitude, and I mean, everybody deals with it, right?
That's
Look
true.
at all the talent some of these guys graduated last year. It's crazy how talented our league is when it comes to football.
Yeah. Well, it's Division 7. The last 2 state champs come out of the Motherlode League.
And it was clear who they were, right? I mean, how dominant those teams were.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I go back, was it 2 years ago when Calaveras beat Somerville, I think, at Calaveras by 1 point.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I was like, wow. But then I watched the film and I'm like, Somerville was coming back hard. And
Couple
it was
onside kicks.
and they were definitely dealing with some good fortune in a few areas, but then Somerville turns that in around. And then the next year, what happens? Calaveras comes around and does the same thing to them.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Great
It's very,
football league.
very
I think
competitive.
the kids like that.
Yeah.
And they know they're going to take their lumps. Games are going to be tough, you know. But I mean, look how much Bret Hart improved last year.
Yeah.
Look how much. I mean, River Island is like. I'm telling you, the difference. We played in year 1 to last year. I was like, who are these guys?
Right.
You know. So it's going to be fascinating.
Coach, is there any particular facet of the game this year that you're saying, hey, we're gonna work on this season, or is it more business as usual, do what we do kind of thing?
Well, our DNA has changed a lot. Last year we had a stable of running backs, all seniors, that were all very, very talented. They all graduated.
Right.
And so this year we're really having to retool offensively, make some changes, go, okay, hey, we're probably not going to be as good on the ground as we were last year, but we got some guys that can run a little differently, so we're changing up some offensive schemes. Biggest thing for us is we brought in a new defensive coordinator. We're changing our entire defensive philosophy.
Okay.
And so we're going younger on our defensive staff, and I think probably better to our personnel. That'll probably be the biggest change everybody sees in this year.
Okay. Well, and then you mentioned about, maybe not as much running. I seen a little bit of quarterback there with the last name Lima, and I looked at that bowl game last year, and he had over 200 yards passing and 3 touchdown passes, and he's going to be a senior, right?
He is. He'll be a third-year starter, and God did not see fit to give him a lot of height, but he fights. As we were talking before we started, he got injured in the second quarter of the Calaveras game, and he was not healthy again until we played Waterford. That was probably the next time he was healthy.
Okay.
He owns all of our passing records here already. I mean, by miles.
Yeah.
He should have a good year. We actually added. We have a young man who's a really good basketball player come out for football. He's 6'4", 6'5". He's got phenomenal hands. So that's going to give us a real boost in the passing game.
Sure.
Because he's also fast, and he's looked phenomenal all summer. I mean, we'll find out Monday. Puts a helmet on his head.
Yeah. Coach Mosa from Calaveras, when I've talked to him in the past, he's always said, anytime the head coach has a son that's the quarterback, that's usually a pretty good football team. You're going to have to watch that dynamic. You really got to watch out for. So everybody out there has got to play Big Valley this year. Watch out because
we should be throwing it out. And we have probably the strength of our team is probably our offensive line. We have 2 juniors that are outstanding, big, and they love football, and they're total football junkies. And
that's great.
Yeah, we haven't had a good lineman football junkie in a while, but we got 2 of them this year. They just live and breathe this stuff. So we're looking forward to it. Got some senior leadership on the line too. So
I love it.
It's gonna be good.
So, Coach, last year you graduated 12 seniors. So all these rest of these guys are going to step up. Give me a few names. Talk to me about some guys that you think may be impactful players in the 2026 campaign coming up.
Okay. So the senior class. Well, we already talked about my son. We probably don't need to spend too much time on that, but he should have. I'm hoping that he has a good.
It's Travis, right? Travis Lima.
Yeah, he's a quiet leader. He's not a fiery leader, but he's tough as nails, and he gets thrown around a lot because of his size, and it's football. And guys will take some shots, but he gets up, doesn't say nothing, pats him on the hiney. Did that actually against Waterford last year, which I thought was very funny. Took a late hit from a kid, gets up, pats him on the butt. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, it was a good hit. I was like, no. We got a young man who's going to take over probably the bulk of our running this year. His name's Ben. He did not play last year because on the very first rep of summer practice, literal first rep, tackling, all we were doing was hop roll tackling, literally like holding the waist, broke his collarbone.
Wow.
Missed the whole season. So he's got something to prove this year, and he's upset and he's angry, and he's probably going to be starting at our weak side inside backer position. We got a young man. He's a junior. I think he's going to go catch the football. We got two really good tight ends that are both really tall. We actually our receiving core this year is going to be 6'2", 6'3", all the way across, which we've never had that.
You always have big tight ends. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. But some of these guys are going to have to flex out the slot and stuff. So
Gotcha.
we got some dudes. But as the seniors go, I would probably say that there's two guys that will be Kai Martin and Nathan Harvey. Harvey was phenomenal in track this year. Really worked on his speed. He's the fastest player in our program. He's got a lot to prove. He was played slot receiver for us last year, safety, but he has looked the part of an all-league player this year. Very fast and has really dialed it up. He's got great hands, and he also happens to be my son's favorite target.
Excellent.
So he's through the summer. So
Nice.
Keep going. Throw it to the target. But, he's doing his thing. But that's probably the group that's going to make a difference.
Okay.
And then our O-line, I would just call them out as a group because they're all good.
Sure.
And, got a senior at center. 2-year starter, 2.5-year starter. But yeah, it's a good group of kids. This group of seniors has been through a ton.
Gotcha.
They're kind of battle tested emotionally,
Yeah.
spiritually, physically. They had one of their closest friends pass away when they started high school.
Oh, wow.
That was tough around here.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of playing for him this year, and this is kind of their last year to get to do that. So,
All right.
yeah, it's kind of exciting.
All right. Well, we've been listening to head varsity football coach at Big Valley Christian High School, Coach Adam Lima. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And wish you the best of luck in the 2026 season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
And we're going to have fun.
All right. Thanks,
All right,
Coach.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So we heard from Coach Adam Lima and a couple from his top players over at Big Valley Christian High School. Comments around Big Valley in 2026, Greg?
I like the fact that all the players want to play Calaveras. They want to play the state champ, whether they got together and, co-opt before you talk to them. But for a team that had the record that they had and, listening to the coach, the struggles that they had and the recruiting and the injuries and, the people leaving, the players leaving, and still wanting to say, I want a piece of the person that made, got number one, that says a lot to me.
Well, I mean, if you remember last year's game, it was 28-0, but Calaveras only scored 7 points a quarter, 7 in the first, 7 in the 7 points. And it felt like one of those like boxing matches where the favorite was winning, but he never really like had complete control. Like, it was
never
just
felt
like
comfortable. Never felt like, hey, we're up 14, we're okay. Hey, we're up 21, we're okay. It was, or Calaveras was never. It was almost like we should not let our foot off the gas.
Big Valley played them tough, and I feel like if Big Valley can grab that energy and that style of football that they play when they play Calaveras and put it in a bottle and then pop one of those bottles open when they play other teams,
right?
That could be a big difference for their season.
Right.
Well, you're right. Big Valley played Calaveras really tough last year and the year before. However, both of those games were, if there was ever a game on Calaveras' schedule, you could say it could be quote-unquote trap games for both years. Because before 2 years ago, Calaveras beat Somerville in that very emotional game. They had a bye week. Who was next? Big Valley. So you're riding that high. You have a bye week. Last year, what happened? They go on the road. They beat Somerville, knock off the defending state champs. They didn't have a bye week, but that was supposed to be Millennium. Millennium canceled midway through the week. They've got the week off. Things are kind of off. They go to Big Valley. And also, who's on the schedule next? Linden.
Right.
Same thing the year before. It was bye week, Big Valley, then Linden. So both of those games could have been, those are the trap games. And Big Valley stepped up both of those years. And last year, you guys both said, it was very not a comfortable game. My biggest concern for Big Valley this season is they don't have a JV team. And while that you go, well, it's still we have varsity football. Who that hurts though are freshmen, because you might have some freshmen who's never played football and said, "I want to go play football. I want to give it a shot." Well, there's no JV team to learn on that type of level, so they go, "Well, I guess I'll go run cross country," and then they'll never play football. And so, not having that JV team, now those kids that do play go, "Hey, they have could have 3 or 4 years on varsity, and that can really toughen them up." but it could also have the opposite effect where maybe you lose some of the guys who would be on the fence about playing anyway. So I think not having a JV team, I mean, we've seen it at Bret Hart, we've seen it elsewhere. That can hurt a program for more than just a 1-year thing.
Yeah, possibly. On the other side of the coin, all of the talent pool now is on your team, right? You're like, everybody's being called up, all hands on deck. You know, the quarterback and coach dynamic, you know, Coach Moses said it. He's like, you know, everyone else, they get coached for a couple hours, go home and have dinner with mom and dad. How was practice today? Yada, yada. This kid's going to go home and he's still getting coached at the dinner table, probably talking about formations and, you know, he's getting that extra coaching at home. And so that certainly could come into play when a 3-year starting quarterback at the varsity level, yeah, he's not a big guy, but he's good on his feet. He rolls around a lot, finds extra time to get the ball down the field. And then having those big tight ends and big wide receivers to get to, Big Valley could be dangerous. And so we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, I look at, you know, I forget his first name again, the quarterback, Lima.
Travis.
Kyler Murray. Let's just call him that. He's undersized, but a good arm, right? Good arm, gets outside the pocket, buys more time, gets the ball down the field.
Well, the game did change when he got hurt last year.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because it was right before the end of the half, and they were driving down. They were in the red zone. He got hurt on, I don't remember if it was a keeper or he got hit, you know, on a pass. They threw in their backup quarterback, and it just wasn't the same. And it was, 14-0 at half. They're going down to score. If he doesn't get hurt, maybe they punch it in. It's 14-7, but
different ball game.
Also last year with Doug Clark's defense, they're not giving up. They're not giving up points anyway, but
they didn't give up many to anyone.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I think with a new coach at Somerville and a sophomore quarterback, even though Somerville brings back a lot of linemen and a lot of good skill positions, if there's any a year where that next team that's run the Cups has a chance to break into the top 3, this might be the season. So we're going to have to find out if Travis stays healthy and if Big Valley can stay healthy with their numbers and see if this is the year for them. Any other comments on Big Valley?
It'll be interesting to see, you know, what does hurt though, and again, not to harp on JV stuff, but that also then throws a monkey wrench for all the other teams going, well, I mean, look, Calaveras plays Big Valley last week of the season. That's senior night. That's a big gate, you know, not having a JV team, you know, now you're going to have half the crowd and it's senior, and, you know, and that's funding that the athletic program needs, or, you know, so who knows if Coach Moses has been able to find a replacement game. I know Coach Whittle at Bret Hart, they were able to get one, but you know, that it just doesn't feel the same not having a JV game.
Sure. And you know, it's funny that you bring up Coach Whittle at Bret Hart, because guess who we're going to hear from next? What a segue, Guy Dossi. You must be in the business or something.
It's like I know how things work alphabetically.
All right, so hey, we heard from Big Valley. Let's listen from the powers that be over at Bret Hart. All right, so I'm sitting with senior running back and strong safety for Bret Hart High School, #1, Jack Brixey. Jack, appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.
Tell me a little bit in your own words about how you felt last season went for your team, and then what's your outlook for this coming season, which is going to be your senior year.
You know, I think our roster last year was, you know, really senior heavy. Had a lot of leadership and something really special.
Okay.
You know, I had a lot of fun last year, and now this year we're having a lot of, you know, younger kids come up to the varsity level, especially the junior side, and you know, my expectations is that, you know, these juniors really step up to really play at the highest level they possibly can, and you know, I'm praying that we can just be competitive in our league.
Sure. Have you set any like personal goals for yourself that you said, like, if I accomplish this is going to help my team get to the next level?
Well, if I'm a first team all leaguer, I think that's probably going to make my team more successful than it would already be.
Yeah.
You know, second team all league when I was injured half the season.
Okay.
So I'm just hoping that I stay healthy, you know, play my game and just have a dominant season.
Okay, excellent. Is when you look at the schedule, I mean, the last 2 Division 7 state champs have come out of the Motherlode League. When you look at the schedule, both preseason and regular season, is there anybody that pops out where you've highlighted and said, I can't wait to play that game?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to play Linden High School this year. I really think they're going to step it up. I think they're going to be probably the most competitive team in the Motherlode League.
Okay.
You know, they were pretty young last year, and they're going to have a lot
the seniors, so I'm excited to play them.
Okay.
And of course Calaveras, I'm buddies with a lot of teammates over there. And
Sure.
I trained with a couple of them, so I'm excited for that rivalry battle always.
Very nice. And then last question, Jack. How about any of your teammates? Can you name some of the guys that you think that, hey, these guys I'm going to be leaning on to step up to help this team?
Man. These kids have really stepped it up in the weight room. I feel like that's definitely been the biggest difference this year than from last year. Running back TJ Bent, man, he's a stud. He's been working really hard. We're also junior Matthew Valene.
Okay.
He's going to be a very big impact on defense. Marcus Kelly, free safety. So I'm really looking forward to playing with these guys.
Excellent. All right, folks. Well, you've been listening to senior running back and strong safety number 1, Jack Brixey from the Bret Hart Bullfrogs. Wish you the best of luck in 2026, your senior season.
Appreciate it.
All right, nice talking to you. All right, folks, so I'm now sitting with number 7 junior quarterback and defensive back from Bret Hart High School, Jesh Wallum. Jesh, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. I know you're getting ready for the up-and-coming season. Tell me a little bit about how you feel. I know you were on the JV team last year. It's your first year up in varsity. Tell me how you felt about, how last season went and then how, your expectations for the coming season.
Yeah, for sure. Last season we started out really great, really strong, won our first 2 games, and then we were super close to winning after that. We definitely could have done a lot better. We had a great team last year, a lot of talent. This year we have even better talent. I'm really looking forward to our receivers. We have a lot of new plays, a lot of new ways to win this year, and I think we'll do a lot better. I'm very excited.
Okay. Tell me about some of your teammates that you think, hey, I'm going to really be leaning on these guys to kind of help us get to the next level this coming season.
Yeah, definitely our 2 wide receivers, Hensley Spire and James Ortega. I'll be looking forward to throwing the ball to them. I just trust them with the ball. Obviously, they're great receivers. And then, of course, our running backs, TJ Bent and Declan Needham. Those are the 2 guys in the running backs that I'm definitely leaning on.
Okay. And then I noticed a lot of the guys, you guys are out here in the weight room right now, and a lot of guys are wearing these T-shirts that says "us" on the back of that. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with that.
US stands for unity and sacrifice. It's like a team. We're a team. Like the past few years, we haven't really been super close as a team. This year it's the closest it's been, which has definitely helped with the chemistry and our style of playing. And it means a lot to each and every one of us to wear these shirts and represent that.
Excellent. That's great, man. Football's the ultimate of team sports. So if you can stay together as a unit, you're going to have success.
Exactly.
Couldn't agree more. When you look at the schedule, Josh, and you see, obviously the last 2 years of state champions in Division 7 come out of the Motherlode League.
Yeah.
When you look at the schedule, both preseason and regular season, is there anybody that you looked at and highlighted or put an asterisk next to you and said, ooh, I can't wait for that one?
I mean, for me, it's always Calaveras. I mean, we haven't beat Calaveras in quite some time. This year, I'm hoping we really do our best here. I think we got a chance at really putting up some points against them, competing with them this year. I'm really excited for that one.
Okay. All right. Well, we've been talking to number 7, a junior quarterback and defensive back for Bret Hart High School, Jesh Wallman. Jesh, I wish you the best of luck this coming season in 2026, and hope you guys do well.
Yep, appreciate it.
You got it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm now sitting with the head varsity football coach at Bret Hart High School, Coach Quinn Whittle. Coach, appreciate your time. I know it's a busy time of year getting these guys ready. It's like herding cats sometimes, I'm sure. Last season, Coach, 3-8 overall in 2025. 3 really close games against River Islands, Riverbank, and Big Valley. Easily could have been wins and gone the other way for you. You finished the season with a bowl win. Congrats on that. I know it's a little early for this coming season, but tell me a little bit about how you felt last year went, and then kind of your expectations, your outlook on the coming season.
Yeah, last year I felt we really started to peak towards the end of the year. Like in the bowl game, it felt like everything clicked. Like finally, with our offense especially, and then defense, we made a few adjustments because we were down late in the game, but we made some stops. But I mean, we progressed a lot. It was hard to kind of switch offenses about week 3 because what we were trying to do wasn't working. We realized what we had and kind of our skill set, and we needed to change directions and we went more spread. And it did work a lot. We did pretty well out of that because we had guys that could do it. But yeah, it was a good year. I was happy with the way it went. I was very happy for the seniors to go out with a bowl win. They were so excited. It was cool. I mean, you know, a lot of teams it doesn't mean much, but for us being where we were, it was a big deal. So.
Sure. Now I remember last year, kind of at this time, you were talking about kind of wing tee out of the gun. So you went a little bit away from that, went more to the spread.
Yeah.
Should the Bret Hart fans expect more of that starting in this coming season?
Yeah.
Okay.
More spread, more zone type offense, and it suits us better. We're not, we don't have, really big linemen that are going to get out and maul people. So we're just going to use our speed to try to get people in bad spots and misdirection. But we have two quarterbacks who can throw really well, so that's really what we want to focus on this year is get the ball out quickly and spread it around because we have some weapons this year.
Nice. I like it. Do what you can with the personnel you got, right?
You got to adjust every year.
So many old school coaches I see sometimes, and they're just pounding that square, blocking to that round hole, saying it's got to work. It's got to work, right?
Yeah, it doesn't work here very well. It's different athletes every year.
Tell me, Coach, this coming 2026 season, who are some of the players that you think could have an impact and help Bret Hart have some success?
Yeah, quite a few. I know Jack Brixey. You talked to him. He's coming back healthy this year. Last year he had a shoulder tear early. He came back and battled through it while it was still torn. The toughness that kid had, I can't even measure. He ripped it again. He ripped the second part in the bowl game. Played through it in tears, batted down the ball to help us win the game. But just his toughness is off the charts.
Wow.
Great leader, leads in the classroom, on the field. I couldn't ask for a better kid. He's going to do well for us.
He looks like a pretty big, strong kid,
he
too.
He works his tail off.
Yeah.
That's all off season. He's over in Sonora working out over there with his other people. Then he goes to Folsom every Sunday and works out with the coach over there. So
nice.
He's very dedicated.
Nice.
We got TJ Bent coming back. He's going to be fullback and linebacker. He had a good year. He's another guy who got hurt against Linden. He separated his shoulder. We missed him the rest of the season, but he was really starting to come into his own. We got basketball player Hensley Spire, who's been very impressive so far as a wideout. So we're excited about him. Declan, he's a junior coming up, speedster, hard runner. We're really happy to have him back. On the line, we've got Toby is coming back. I think he won league in wrestling in his division. Big, strong kid. We're really quick figure out of him.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very. So I asked one of your players this. I'll ask you. I was at the grocery store in town before I came here. I saw a couple of your players who kind of moseying through there, and I saw their shirts. I see all the shirts in the weight room now, and they all say "us" on the back. Tell me a little bit about kind of where that came from and what you've got going as far as the culture here.
I kind of stole that from my year at Ribbon Christian. That was our motto, and I liked it. More of it as a collective. Then we put unity and sacrifice because we're trying to teach these kids that you're going to have to sacrifice a few things in fun things you want to do during your summer to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And last year we came together, but not as tight as I like, but like this group really seems to be clicking. So the unity part, that's what we're really pushing, like one big family, and it's JV across the board to varsity. Like we all want to be one big unit and start building a tradition and program here that we can repeat, be repetitive, and do well.
I like that. I like that a lot, especially in the game of football. And you're out there battling, you got to be able to lean on each other.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. It's a battle every play, and you've got to depend on your guys. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that, Coach. So, Coach, last question. Obviously, last 2 years, state champs come out of the Motherlode League in Division 7. You look at your schedule and you see your preseason, you see the Motherlode League season, your league games. Anybody pop out where you go, hey, that's going to be a pivotal week for us, or that you highlight or to put an asterisk by? Or
every week in the MLL is a pivotal week. I mean, it's a tough league. Even the down teams last year were, I thought, pretty competitive. Linden, they look good.
Right.
They got a lot of kids. Calvary State returning champs, and there's nothing but respect for them. They've handled this for a long time, so we're striving to get to that level. And then, Somerville's always tough. They're always tough kids. I heard they're down. They're always hard to play.
Well, they got a new coach, too, so they're kind of question marks.
Don't know what's coming in, but, they always play us hard, and I think we're one of their big rivals. And then, River Islands, you never know what they're going to have because they're a big school.
They're in a populated area.
Yes. And I remember watching your guys' film versus them, and then when we played it, I'm like, been like 3 or 4 different guys on the field that weren't out when you guys were playing them. So
Right.
they can get some athletes. So I'm looking forward to it. I think everybody's gonna be tough. It's what's fun part about this league. I think it's a hard league. It's always physical.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's why we do so well in the playoffs in state, because we play physical football and the spread teams just can't handle it.
Right. Right.
I think that's what's so proud to be part of this league.
Well, you never know. The Motherlode League could end up being the next TVL, right? Where just everybody's just. All right, Coach. Well, folks, you've been listening to the head varsity football coach at Bret Harte High School in Angels Camp, Coach Quinn Whittle. Coach, wish you the best of luck in 2026. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, you got it. All right, guys. Coach Quinn Whittle over at Bret Harte High School, and a couple of his players that he believes may make an impact in 2026. Guy, you cover Bret Harte. Some comments around Bret Harte and for the coming season.
I mean, they have the same struggle they've been having the last probably decade now. They just don't have the numbers on the varsity roster. I mean, we're looking at 17, 16, and that's tough. But, you know, the silver lining for Bret Harte down the road is they've got over 30 on their JV team right now with some kids who look like studs. But that doesn't help them this year. But, you know, and you look at their record last year, 3-8, but 4 of their losses were by 10 points or less. So, yeah, they got handed, you know, tough losses to Somerville and Calaveras and Linden. But the rest of the league, no one ran away from them. You know, they were all close, very competitive games. But, you know, they did lose a lot. They've got some really good skilled position guys that are going to be exciting to watch. I mean, they talked about Hensley Spire, the junior. He's a basketball player, baseball player, first-year football player, receiver. He's got really good hands. They've got some speed. I mean, obviously, TJ Bent's a track runner. They've got, you know, Declan Needham. He's super fast. Marcus Kelly's a soccer player who's tough and fast. Well, they just don't have a line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a tough one. And you're only as good as your line. And so, you know, let's see what Coach Whittle can come up with his play calling. I know he and I have talked about, you know, how do you go about having a line that's not as big as you might like. And, you know, that's a wrinkle that any offensive coordinator will have to figure out. But they're just in the same situation where if you lose a couple of dudes, you know, then it's going to be tough to fill out a roster. Then now you're going down to the JV and you're pulling up some guys there who may not be ready, or now you're losing that continuity, and it's going to be tough for them. If they stay healthy, I mean, there's no reason why they can't continue to be competitive against the teams they need to be competitive against in the league. Are they gonna put up a fight against Calaveras? They might want to. Not yet. Linden, same thing. Somerville, probably the same thing. But the rest of them, again, these can be good competitive games, and if they're healthy, maybe they're the team that finishes 4th in league. Maybe they're the team that's, you know, up there. Maybe they finish 500 overall. They've got a pretty favorable preseason schedule, and I know, you know, they would throw a parade over an Angels camp if they're able to finish 500, or heck, even 6-4 if all the chips fall perfectly. But that'll be tough going a full season without any major injuries. I mean, like I said, you know, TJ Bent, they lost him for the second half of the year last year with a collarbone injury. And Jack Brixey was hurt much of the year. You know, it's football, it ain't ballet. You're gonna get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, can they limit the injuries and figure out how to win without a super big offensive and defensive line? That's the issue.
I like Coach Quinn Whittle. I like what he's doing, what he's trying to do. But you know, there's more to winning football games than a coach coming in that knows football and getting the right athletes. You got to have the support of you know, the community, the administration. It's a much bigger picture than just the people that show up on the field every single day. And you know, at Calaveras, I've seen, you know, that come, you know, perfect, where it's like, man, you couldn't ask for a better community and a better support system. And unfortunately, I'm not so sure Angels Camp is that right now on that football program. I'm not so, you say that they'd get a parade. I'm not so sure they would.
Well, and you look at the problem is, you know, do you think the football coach at Oakdale or at Sonora has to go around campus and be like, hey, you want to play football? No, the name sells itself.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem. It's so difficult because there are athletes on that campus. But because, you know, football has this, you know, this negative connotation around it for whatever reason, you know, I'll ask a kid, hey, why aren't you playing football? Oh, because football sucks. No, it sucks because you're not out there.
Right.
You know, I will never dog the kids that are out there playing, because those are the ones that are showing up and they're trying.
Right.
It's the ones who want to, you know, that dog it because, well, the football team sucks. Yeah, well, when you have 17 guys, 16 guys, 15 guys, that's what's going to happen. If you had 25 guys, 26 guys where you can actually practice against each other and have competition, that makes things better. And so it's a catch-22. You're only going to get more kids if you win, but you're only going to win if you get more kids. And so they're in a tough spot. But like I said, having 30-something on the JV level will help them down the road. This year, though, it remains to be seen.
Right.
Greg?
You know, I like what the coach says. You do what you can with what you have. And he's doing the best he can with 17. But talked about injuries last year. If you have one injury when you have 17 guys and nobody coming up, that can be a really, really big problem. I would love no more than to have a Calaveras-Bret Hart rival like they used to have, where, you know, it was whose game's it going to be. And that hasn't happened for a very long time. And I agree with you, Gil, that there has to be, while the coach is trying his best to change that culture, he can't be the only cheerleader for that.
There's got to be the supporting cast.
There's got to be the supporting cast. There's got to be, you know, a gateway, a funnel to funnel kids to the program. Yes, they have 30. That may be good in a couple years, but it's just been broken for so long. And I don't like using that word broken, but it's just been so, you know, non-competitive for so long. I don't see it turning around much.
Well, they played last year Riverbank, River Island, and Big Valley tough. You know, those were losses that very easily could have been on the W side. So they're not that far away. So we'll find out what happens this season, and we'll see how, you know, the plight of Bret Hart in 2026. We shall find out. The other side of that, having 16, 17 guys, hey, they're getting all the reps. You know, you don't got a lot of guys, but as long as it's cardiovascular, they're in shape. You know, they're getting all the reps. They know the plays, right? So it's not like, oh, I didn't know what the play was. No, you're getting all the reps in practice, man. You knew what the play was.
When with Bret Hart, honestly, they're the kind of the biggest wild card for me, because again, they're not going to crack the top 3 in the league. Could they go 6-4? Yeah. Could they go 2-8? Yes.
Right.
So I mean, it all for them. I think more so than any team in the league, it's all about staying healthy.
Sure. Okay, so moving on, what do you do when you go win the Division 5A CIF state championship? What do you do the next season? Well, I don't know. Back to the drawing board, figure it out. You know, what do you do, right? So I asked Coach most of that question over at Calaveras. You know, for years it was chasing that banner, trying to get to that next level. And then now after you win it all, how do you get ready after a season like that? Let's hear what they said over at Calaveras High. All right, so now I'm talking with number 6 senior quarterback at the state champion Calaveras High School Red Hawk varsity football team. Cohen, thanks for spending a couple minutes with me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
So tell me, Cohen, in your own words, I mean, obviously last year, historic, unbelievable season. Tell me how you felt about, you know, how all that went, and then now coming in for your senior year, coming into this next season, it's got to be a big change, right? A big, like, you win it all, now all of a sudden it's like, let's go out here and start all over again. Tell me about how you're feeling.
Yeah, definitely. It is a big change coming out off of such a big season, but like I feel like coming into this season, we can't really like not dwell on last season, but like keep that in our heads. We kind of just got to clear our minds of that last season and really focus up on this season and try and do the same thing, just take it one game at a time.
Okay. And then as far as, like, you know, some of your teammates, you got some guys that were on last year's state champion team that are coming back. And then obviously it's a new team. You got guys from the JVs that have moved on up. Who do you think for this year and this coming season in 26 are going to be some impact players that's going to help this team move forward into the playoffs?
I think we got a lot of guys this year. I mean, we got a lot of returning starters. We got, Colton, Owen, Quincy, Red and Ike returning on the line. We got some other guys that are coming in on the line that are looking pretty good. We got Payton. We just got a bunch of dudes that are coming back. And
sure.
So I feel like we should be able to, if we can really focus up and just do our job, we should be all right.
Okay. And then have you, like, set any kind of personal goal for yourself for this season where you're like, hey, if I achieve this, it's really going to help my team this coming season?
Yeah, Yeah, I do want to win league, and I want to make playoffs and try and make another deep playoff run. But I also do want to try and throw. I went back on and looked on Max Preps at the like stats for like the most yards in the season, and it was 1,600 yards.
Okay.
And I have a goal to try and at least reach that.
Go chase after that.
Yeah.
That's the carrot you're running after.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. I like it. When you look at the schedule, the last 2 years, the Motherlode League has furnished the state champion for Division 7 in the past 2 years. When you look at this year's schedule, is there anybody that you highlighted or put an asterisk by and said, okay, that's going to be the one. I can't wait for that one?
Yeah, I mean, I always do like playing Linden and Somerville, but I feel like it is sometimes you can get those games that sneak up on you, and you get out there, you underestimate a team, and you get out there and you're like, man, like these guys are a lot better than I expected. And so I feel like going into it, we can't really underestimate anybody or like overlook anybody, because if you do, it could come back to bite you in the butt.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what's the culture like so far this summer, getting ready for this 26th season? I mean, is everybody working hard, or do you got any of those booby miles where it's like, yeah, this is God-given, I'm ready?
Yeah, I mean, we are out here working hard. I mean, it's hot, and next week's supposed to be all in the hundreds, but we're still going to be out here working. I feel like we got a lot of guys that are all hard workers, and we all have a good connection and good relationship. So I feel like we're starting to build into a family this early on in the season. So I feel like come like actual season, I feel like that'll be a huge impact for us.
Excellent. Okay, well, you've been listening to senior quarterback and defensive back for Calaveras High School, number 6, Cohen Kern. Wish you the best of luck in 2026, your senior season.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, folks, I'm now talking with number 2, senior fullback and middle linebacker, number 2, not 5, but number 2, Colton Ray. Colton, really appreciate your time. Tell me a little bit about how you felt. I mean, obviously last season, incredible season, winning the state championship. Tell me about your feelings about, that season, and then kind of expectations now as you're getting ready for the 26 campaign.
Oh, last season was just an unbelievable experience. I mean, winning state, first time in school history, was just a really good achievement. And that was also a breakout season for me. First team, all-league, defense player of the year. Really great season for me. But now that was all last year. Now we're just focused on this year. Just a new team. A lot of seniors graduated, but we got some new guys coming in, filling their roles, and we're all just working hard as a team, building a family, like what Cohen was saying. And yeah, we're just working hard, taking it one step at a time. And yeah.
Okay. And then tell me a little bit about these up-and-coming players that weren't on last year's team. The guys that were on last year's team, is there like a message you're sending those guys to say, hey, this is how it's done, this is the expectation? What are maybe some of those guys, that you think could help make an impact to even, push this team to continue down that path towards another championship?
Yeah, there's a few key players that they got brought up during the playoffs.
Okay.
But that's Austin Locke, Drake Johnston, and a few others that are coming back to fill in the offensive line, defensive line, because I was very senior heavy for us last year.
Yep.
And yeah, as a senior, I'm just trying to be the best leader I can be and just teach the younger classes than me just how to work as hard as you can and just stay disciplined and just be the best football player you can be while you're here.
Okay. And then have you set kind of like any personal goal for yourself that you think if I achieve this goal, it's definitely going to help my team out this season?
My number one goal is just to be the best teammate and the best player and listener I can be. And then my second goal is I want to win the MLL MVP this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. That's a good goal to have. When you look at this year's schedule, is there anybody that you highlight that pops out and says, yeah, I kind of can't wait for that one?
Yeah, I would say Bradshaw Christian and Argonaut is at the top of my list, because Argonaut, we're always been chippy with them. We've had the Battle of the Buttes camp. We get into it. We're both physical. Yeah, I'm just ready for
They
it.
got a lot of young talent on their
Yeah,
team
they're
too.
a young
So
team. They got a lot of good, fast, skilled players. They got some decent size.
yeah,
And then also Bradshaw too, because they beat us first game of the season last year, so it'd be good to
by 1 point.
yeah
Yeah.
to get a win back at their place this year.
Right.
So I'm excited for that.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay, so we've been talking to number 2. I'm sure I'm going to be saying a lot of your name this coming season, hopefully on KVGC when we broadcast all the games every Friday night. First one, Friday, August 28th at Bradshaw Christian, 7 p.m. Number 2, running back, fullback, inside linebacker, Colton Ray. Colton, I wish you the best of luck in 2026.
Thank you.
All right, you got it. Thank you. All right, folks, so now I am sitting with head varsity football coach at Calaveras High School, Coach Manny Mosa. Coach, appreciate your time. I know it's a busy time of year for you getting your team ready. First of all, Motherlode League preview episode, Guy Dossi and Greg Stark, helped me with this thing. And I got to ask you, how deep down on your bad boy list are they for not picking Calaveras the past couple of years?
I forgot about it until now.
So they moved up on the list?
Forgot about it until now.
They moved up on the list?
No. You know what, man? It's okay. Any extra motivation anyone's willing to give us, we'll take it.
I got you. So, Coach, your team last year did what most teams aspire to do, which is win it all. Is it harder to prepare a team after a season like last year compared to prior seasons when you're still trying to chase that championship?
It's different.
Okay.
But you try to keep things the same. Look, we've been coaching a long time. We coached together a long time.
Yep.
We kind of know our way of doing things, but we're still figuring some things out too.
Right.
It's a whole different team. It's a different attitude. There's a lot of new things. So we're figuring it out as we go.
Okay. Last year, obviously, you lost some key players to graduation. Who do you think might make an impact on this new 2026 team to help Calaveras continue on that successful path?
Well, it's gonna have to be a collective effort.
Sure.
And I think we have a lot of guys that can do it. It can't just be one person.
Mm-hmm.
Last year Colton Ray had a very good year on defensive side of the ball, and come playoff time after Cody got hurt, I mean he filled right in at fullback. So we expect a lot out of him. We expect him to show up and do everything he did last year plus some. Quarterback, of course, having a returning quarterback's always nice. Got Colton for Cohen for 3 years now, and he understands me. He gets me. I get him. So it's fun. It's fun at practice. We can joke around and lighthearted. It doesn't always have to be business.
Sure.
Owen Shahan should step in and get a lot more carries at running back. Quincy Dyson will be getting a lot more carries at running back. Peyton Long, we expect him to be a true X receiver out there. We got both tackles back, Red Brock and Ike Chance. We expect them to hold it down. And of course, Landon Patrick. He got a lot of time at Y last year, and of course defense. He was a tough guy to block.
He's quite an athlete.
So
yeah.
He's looking just as good, if not better.
That's fantastic, Coach. When I look at the youth levels at a chance, during the camp, you've seen a lot of these youth levels. They've got record numbers. The JV team at the high school is having success. Obviously, varsity team wins it all last year. Tell me about just the culture overall of Calaveras football, the Calaveras faithful, this community and this football team. The culture is just amazing when you see it at every level, all of the participation. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. Let our listeners know what's going on here with Calaveras.
I agree. I think a lot of times, people talk about culture, but usually it feels like you don't talk about culture until you have it.
Yeah.
We have it, and we have the right type of kids. They're Calaveras grown kids. It's tough. Same way we have a tough neighborhood. It's tougher to live up here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have fast food right around the corner. Things are just different.
They can't call an Uber to McDonald's.
Exactly. I think we got a lot of coaches that have really bought into that mentality down at the youth level, and I really I grade these youth coaches on how many kids come back, and we have more than ever.
Right.
So they're doing a good job. That alone tells you they're doing a good job. So love the culture. I love what's going on, and what I really like about it is we don't talk about culture around here. It's just happening.
Right. You live it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So last question, Coach. I know you got to get these guys going. When you look at the 2026 schedule, any game that pops out that you go, that's going to be kind of a crucial moment, or that's going to be a big game for us? Anything that pops out at you?
No, that's not how I look at it.
Okay.
We game one against Bradshaw Christian. We're
That's
going
it.
to take it one game at a time. Bradshaw got us by 1 point last year. We own one. We need to go. We need to go to Bradshaw.
Yeah.
This year, and we need to get a win. Week 2 is Balboa. We know nothing about Balboa High School except that they won a state championship as well last year.
Okay.
Then on to Ripon Christian. We haven't been able to beat Ripon Christian in a few years. It'd be nice to go in there and beat those guys, and then it's a homecoming here versus Argonaut.
Mm-hmm.
And Argonaut's looking good this year. We've seen them. So I think our entire preseason is going to be tough. That's exactly what we want. And then it's on to League, and we'll just try to handle League one game at a time.
You bet. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate your time. We've been listening to head varsity football coach at Calaveras High School, Coach Manny Mosa. Coach, wish you the best of luck in 2026.
Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, guys. So the defending state champs, Calaveras Redhawks, comments around Calaveras in 2026.
What do you say when they make, they win the championship? You want to say we're going to go back, we're going to repeat and, do a back-to-back, and that'd be amazing for Lightning to strike twice. They had all the stars aligned last year. They had great players, and not to take anything away from those great players, but it was really, really great to see when somebody, when Polson got hurt, Ray stepped up very well and carried the ball very well. When they were up, by a significant amount of points, and then you put the second, the next man up, they performed really, really well. Calaveras is kind of the polar opposite of what we were talking about with Bret Hart. They have a program. They have a feeder program. They have an onboarding process where, from Pee Wee all the way up through to varsity football, it is just a machine of, bringing kids up. And I am very optimistic how the next man up, next player up is going to do this year. They are, playing with high caliber players like they played with last year, and being around them and seeing the work ethic and seeing the dedication and seeing what can be done. It's not like, oh, we can do this. No, this can be done. I think that's really where they're going to shine. And like Coach talked about having the long-term starter with Cohen. You just can't buy that kind of experience. And I think Calaveras is. Well, not going to pick them to go to the state championship, but I think they're going to do very well. I don't think it's going to be a significant drop off like of years before of other teams.
Okay, Guy.
I don't know where you keep saying I didn't pick them. I picked them to win the state title. This is fake news. And
I thought you said world title, but
that too. Super Bowl. Until you can prove otherwise, Mr. Gill, this is all erroneous, and you'll be hearing from my attorneys. But but it is tough. Obviously, look, Sonora did it. They went back to back.
Is Matlock your attorney?
Listen. I'll give him a call. Sonora went back to back, and was better the second year than they were the first year. But it's a tough thing to repeat, obviously, because we, and I think that not even talking about repeating inside the walls of the Calaveras football world. Don't even talk about it, because, we act like, hey, we won a section title last year. Let's go do it again. It's a first in program history. How many times do we get to the game and lose? And also, Manny has done a great job since taking over. Now he is in his 4th year. But before that, there were some dark times where Calaveras was getting run off the field by teams. So this still, he talked about the culture. The culture is there, but it took some time off a few years ago. So this winning expectation is kind of, I don't want to say new, but it's to this level is different than it was, 5 or 6 years ago. And I just hope that there isn't the pressure to repeat isn't, doesn't take too, I mean, look, Somerville last year, they won a state title, and they get bounced in the second round of the playoffs. So it's going to be tough. And like man said, you look at their preseason schedule. Honestly, if they start 0-4, would you be surprised if they start 0-4? I mean,
yes.
Okay. And yes. Well, I don't know. Bradshaw's a good team. Balboa's a 2-time defending state champion. Ripon Christian, we haven't beat them since we've started playing them. And Argonaut is a good team with Coach Hickman over there. I mean, so obviously I wouldn't bet on going 0-4, but hey, they were 1-2 at one point last year too. And then, went on the run and did some pretty good things. But I think the way Coach Most is looking at it, going game by game, is the right call, to have his guys going, hey, let's focus on Bradshaw right now, because anything else in that, now you're getting you're looking too much. And, and Manny's going to have his guys ready. We know that.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, when we go back to culture, not only is it there and it's strong, it's getting stronger. And, I have the fortunate opportunity to do the public address announcing for all of the youth program, the Calaveras Junior Red Hawk program, and all the home games at Frank Meyer Field. And I see these games. I see the junior novice games. I see the novice games, the JV games, the varsity games. I see these young players go out there. I see all of the coaches that are involved in coaching them. I've gone out to their practices. I see all the games. I see all the parents. You go to a practice, and it literally looks like it might be a game, because there are just so many parents out there. They're walking around the track. They're doing all this thing. Calaveras football, the culture is not only good, it's getting stronger, and it's getting stronger by the year. And Calaveras high school football, all of this positive culture that's happening at the youth level is moving on up into the high school level. You got Colton Ray and Owen Shahan, 2 backup running backs for Enrique Hernandez and Cody Paulson last year. And every time they came in to spell those guys, they were phenomenal. And now it's their shot. It's their shot to be in the sunshine. And I think they're going to do a phenomenal job. To have those 2 guys, to have that benefit of having those 2 guys in your back pocket when you needed them, and now they're going to be the starters. Having your quarterback, come back from a state championship and be the starting quarterback. Having a linebacker and tight end like Landon Patrick. Mm-hmm. That guy is an absolute beast. I wish I had that physique when I was freaking, a high school football player. I didn't. I wish I did.
You can tell people you did.
In my mind, when I looked in the mirror, I thought I did.
Me too.
But it most certainly wasn't. But having all of these returners, and then you go and look at the coaching staff and go, I got a 30-plus year guy in the O-line, D-line, and Coach Anderson, a D coordinator who used to be a head coach, in Doug Clark. I mean, these guys have been there, done that.
Together.
And so you want to talk about continuity and a culture, that definitely stands for something. So Calaveras, and remember, to keep things in context, it's not about if they're going to repeat a state championship. It's what they're going to do in the Motherlode League.
Right. And talk about the continuity, even with the high school coaches and the JV and the Pop Warner coaches, they are tight also. Even at the quarterback club, there was a boatload of junior coaches there.
Sure.
that there's the communication and the expectation. I think it's just the chemistry. You talk about culture, but what's in culture is chemistry, and the chemistry between those coaches doing it so long together. That's another wild card.
It's definitely a strength
Absolutely.
for the program.
Well, and something that can't be overlooked either is that, we were there at the section championship game. We were there at the state championship game. There were a lot of little junior Red Hawks wearing their jerseys down there too. And so if you're an 8-year-old, little football player, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, and you're watching, in the big kids, the big, you're watching that team that you want to play for win a state title or a section title. Well, that just told those young kids it's possible.
You bet.
And so you don't think that those kids who were there, that made the trip down to Southern California or got to Sacramento at 9 a.m. for kickoff for the section championship game, that didn't mean something for them, that they thought, hey, I want to do that too. Because I heard a number of those kids tell their parents, I want to win a section title. I want to win a state title. So yeah, what happened last year, again, maybe they don't repeat, maybe they don't win league, maybe they win sections, maybe they do it again. We don't know. But maybe what happened last year, it's that seed that got planted in the younger kids that, like I said, that culture, it's just going to keep growing and keep growing. And so that might have been the biggest thing that came out of last year is, hey, that just lit the fuse for a bunch of, a new generation that's still coming up.
Right.
Yeah, we talked about earlier about having a supporting cast. It's definitely there and strong and vibrant in Calaveras County, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I've seen it, I've witnessed it.
Their pipeline just got bigger because of that game. I agree with you.
Now, one of their biggest obstacles in the Motherlode League, I think this coming season in 2026, is going to be who they played in the section title last year, and that's the Linden Lions, not too far down the road. There's a nice little segue there, Guy. I doubled down on your segue from earlier.
It's like, it's like you knew what you were doing.
Let's hear from Coach Adrian Ramos and the Linden Lions squad. All right, folks. So I'm sitting with tight end and linebacker for the Linden Lions varsity football team, number 8 senior Lincoln Lee. Lincoln, thanks for spending a few moments with me. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, hey, tell me a little bit about how you felt last season went. You were on the team last year. You guys made it to the section title game. And then tell me, what's the feeling like this year? I know it's a little early, but as far as like goals and what you'd like to see accomplished for this coming season.
Last year was pretty good. We made it to the section championship. Definitely not what we wanted to do. And I feel like this season, we have a good chance to make it far again. Definitely looking to make it a little farther than we did last year. But we have a good feeling about this year.
Okay. And then any personal goals you set for yourself personally to help this team out to achieve those goals for the coming season?
Personal goals is just stay healthy. Last year, knee was pretty bad, but we're good this year. Hopefully, stay healthy.
Okay. And then I believe you had an older brother that played for the team, right?
Yeah.
Landon Lee a couple years ago. Yep. Tell me about that experience as far as being able to kind of come up watching him play, and then now you're kind of in his shoes or, filling those shoes now coming into your senior year.
Yeah, it's definitely some big shoes to fill. He's out here playing college football now, and hopefully he gets go to the next level just like him.
Okay. Yeah, I was just about to ask what your goals are are you trying to get to play the next level as well?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we've been talking to tight end linebacker number 8, senior Lincoln Lee. Wish you the best this coming season, your senior season.
Yep. Thank you.
You bet. All right, folks, I'm sitting with number 3 senior wide receiver and cornerback for Linden High School's varsity football team, Antoine Moore. Antoine, thanks for spending a couple minutes with me. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Ready to hit that weight room? Well, Antoine, you were on last year's Linden varsity football team, made it to the section title. Tell me in your words how you thought last season went, and then tell me your outlook for the coming season and what you're hoping to get accomplished this year.
Last season, they went really well. Obviously, wish we could have made it further. Fate had different decisions for us. I feel like this season's going to be really good for us. We could make it that far. We just have to do what we do,
Okay. And then as far as, if you looked at the schedule, I don't know if you've looked at the schedule yet or you kind of know being in the Motherlode League down the last couple of years. Is there any particular game on that schedule where you kind of put an asterisk next to it and go, ooh, I can't wait for that one?
In season, not really. It's more of a preseason thing for me because I have some family that goes to Bear Creek and we got them week 2.
Okay. Okay. So that's more of a family thing for the Bear Creek thing. Okay. And then any personal goals that you set for yourself that you think will, if you could achieve them, it's going to help your team kind of move forward?
I'm just going to try to do my best and just do better than I did last year. I had a couple mistakes. I'm going to try to fix that and hope it doesn't happen again.
All right. Well, we've been talking to number 3 wide receiver, cornerback senior for Linden High School, Antoine Moore. Antoine, best of luck this coming season.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So I am now sitting with running back and linebacker senior for Linden High School, number 2, Isaac Rubakava. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, Isaac. Thanks for spending a few moments with me. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So you're on last year's team. You guys made it to the section title. This year, tell me a little bit about what you thought about last year, and then what are your goals for this year as far as now being your senior season?
I thought last year was amazing. That season went perfect. And this year, I think we're going to do better than we did last year. And, yeah.
Okay, good. So tell me a little bit about some of maybe your own personal goals and what you're trying to achieve that you think if you achieve them, will help your team move on and do better even this year, like you said?
My goals are to stay healthy and set a nice rushing record for my brother to break. And
so you have a younger brother?
Yeah, younger brother.
Okay. What level is he playing at right now?
He's youth varsity. He's in 8th grade.
Okay.
Running back too.
Okay. So you kind of want to set the tone for him?
Yep.
Okay. Excellent. I like it. I don't know if you had a chance to see the schedule. You've been in the Motherlode League now a couple years, kind of know who's coming up. Is there anybody on that schedule that you kind of put a little mark by and say, I can't wait for that game?
Somerville and Calaveras.
Somerville and Calaveras. Okay. Yeah, last two weeks of the season there, and last couple years you guys have been the top 3 teams. So it's always been like everybody knows those are the teams to beat in the league. So, all right. If you wanted to tell your little brother something about, hey, make sure you do fill in the blank, make sure you do this to make sure he has success coming up through the ranks that you've already done, what would you tell him?
So that he's gotta lock in. Sometimes he's a little lazy.
Okay.
But he's got that work ethic though.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, we've been talking to senior running back and linebacker number 2, Isaac Rubalcava. Wish you the best of luck this coming season.
Thank you.
All right, you got it. All right, folks, I am now sitting down with the head varsity football coach at Linden High School, Coach Adrian Ramos. Coach, thanks for spending a few moments with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming by.
You bet. So, Coach, last year, 8-5 overall, 5-2 in the Motherlode League. Got all the way to the section title game. Clearly, Linden, the past couple of years, have established themselves as being one of the top teams in the Motherlode League. Tell me a little bit in your own words about how you felt last year went, and then the outlook you think on this coming season.
Yeah, last year was pretty crazy all around. With the coaching change, and we kind of missed some spring ball, got a lot of injuries, but that team, led by a lot of seniors, really pulled it all together at the end. It was tough losing those last 2 league games back to back, week 9, week 10. But once we got the draw as a 7th seed, we saw the teams ahead of us. We believe we can get it done.
Sure.
Went up to Stone Ridge, got that win, and then we love the fact that we were able to go up to Somerville and end their season. So
yeah,
that was pretty special. And then came up short in the title game, but at that point of the season, everybody's banged up.
Sure.
Calaveras wasn't at their best. We weren't at our best, but they were able to get it done. And shouts out to those guys. But,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Come back this year.
Absolutely. So. Obviously, last couple of years, you've graduated a lot of impact players, but your JV team was really good last year. Your youth program is really good. Lots of good athletes coming up. Tell me who you think could have an impact on this year's team for Linden High School.
Yeah, definitely. We have a group of seniors that played a lot for us last year. You just talked to a couple of them. We got Lincoln Lee, Isaac Rubicov, and Antoine Moore. We're going to be leaning on those guys a lot. Those are the big impact guys. Julian Chavez is a 3rd-year starting O-lineman for us on varsity. But we're really excited about this young group. A lot of unknown when they're that young.
Right.
But there's a lot of potential for those guys to really show out this year. And we're excited.
Yeah, a lot of youth, but that could be a good thing, especially, it's a young man's game.
Yeah.
And although they're young, you've got some size up on that line. I look at some of even in the lower levels, and I see some of the size of these kids, and I think, what are they putting in the water in Linden over there? You've got some big boys up there.
Yeah, we got some big boys, and we have just a lot of hardworking families out here. Our O-line is going to be bigger than last year's O-line, and that's just starting 1 senior as of right now. Up front, we're looking pretty good. We have an O-line group and a D-line group that don't really have to go both ways.
Nice.
A couple of them will be, but it's not something we have to do. It's a deep group, and
that's a good position to be in. Yeah, absolutely.
We're excited for that group.
Last year, your JV team, you guys were up at Calaveras, and I saw a name out there with the JV team when they were playing Calaveras, and I saw another Busalachi, and I went, uh-oh. And I think he scored 5 touchdowns against Calaveras, and Linden easily, JV team, won that football game. I remember his older brother a couple of years ago who was absolutely dominant at wideout. Tell me a little bit about that young man, because he looks like he's ready to fill his older brother's shoes. And then as far as it looks like you've actually got quite a bit of that dynamic with younger brothers. We have family members playing in there, and kind of just that family culture you got set over here at Linden.
Yeah, the community loves Linden football. and not a whole lot of moving around happens. So, we have Evan Bushlocki. He's going to be just like his brother, maybe a better receiver.
Wow.
And Braden's doing a good job at MJC right now. He's getting some looks to go D1.
Nice.
And then we have Little Weber, Little Gaglioso, Little Torres. I'm probably missing a couple guys, but from that team 2 years ago, we have all his little brothers who've been on JV these last couple years. Our JV coach, Coach Soto, he came up to varsity. Now he's our DC. Him and that group haven't lost a league game since they came in as freshmen.
Wow.
And we've been a talented varsity team, so we haven't needed to move a lot of them up. So they know how to win. But they haven't hit their cap yet. So
Yeah.
a lot of growing still.
And folks out there listening, trust me when he says little brothers and the little guys, he means that by birth certificate. They're younger, but they're not exactly little by stature. That's for sure.
Yeah, Lincoln's way bigger than his older brother. But this group, they've been together since they were young. They're excited. They love each other a little too much sometimes, but it's a fun group. We're excited.
Okay. And then last question, Coach. I asked some of your players. It's just one sometimes that I always interested to see, how people respond. But when you look at the schedule, is there any that one game where you look at and said, okay, that's going to be a crucial game or a turning point game or the game I can't wait for? Anything that pops out at you?
The big thing is we want to win the league.
Right.
Back-to-back years, the state champions come out of our league in D7.
Yep.
So that's Somerville, Calaveras. I think River Islands is going to make a big jump this year. They got some good players over there. Somehow they redid the league schedule this year.
Mm-hmm.
We still have Somerville and Calaveras back to back
In the last 2 weeks of the season, yeah.
It just happens that way. But, we're excited about the whole league. We changed some stuff in our preseason. We still got Houston. That's a big game for us. Going down to Merced to play Golden Valley.
Yeah.
And then we have East Nichols coming down from the northern section.
Yeah.
But our whole league stuff.
Yeah.
And we know if we can compete in our league, we can compete for the section title.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to.
All right. Well, hey, we've been talking to head varsity football coach at Linden High School, Adrian Ramos. Coach, wish you the best of luck this coming season. Appreciate your time. I know you got to get your guys ready to go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys. Adrian Ramos, head varsity football coach at Linden High School. I'm telling you, I'll hear your guys' comments right now, but I've been down there, and Linden is no joke. On paper, this team looks like the real deal. Let me hear from you, Guy. Talk to me.
I wouldn't be surprised if they are one of the two teams fighting for a banner a couple days after Thanksgiving.
You bet.
That's, and it's interesting, 2 years ago, Calaveras, they went to Linden and got humbled. In one of the, I'm sure if you ask Manny, like since you've taken over, what loss really sticks out to you? And I bet you that one will be the one that comes to mind because his team just did not play and Linden just took it to him. Now, fast forward the next year, they got him at home and then they got him with the banner on the line. But, going over to Linden and playing is going to be tough, and that's where we're going this year. And, I think Linden's going to be pretty motivated because, like Coach just said, the last two state champions have come out of the MLL, Somerville and Calaveras. They want to probably join the party.
Right.
And if not state, obviously, they, sections. And they got there last year. And who's the team that took those dreams away? It's the boys from San Andreas. So
right.
if they're not going to have vengeance on their mind or have something that they need to prove, it's going to be there. And I think Linden is going to be a very tough team because just, looking at their JV last year, and obviously JV is different, but holy smokes, their JV just ran through everyone. And
including Calaveras' JV.
Including Calaveras.
And I'll tell you what, one of those young athletes scored like 5 touchdowns against Calaveras. He'll be up at the varsity this year. And if you remember, you mentioned that game 2 years ago where Calaveras went up there at Linden and just got throttled. There was Busalachi was a wide receiver that I think. That's what I said.
Yeah. I like how you butchered the Italian last name.
So forget about it. So anyways, that kid, I think he scored the first touchdown, threw a deep pass, got it in the end zone, then dunked the ball over the goalpost. And I went, oh boy, it's going to be a long night. I liken that game to like a prize fight when in the first round a fighter just gets rocked, and then the whole rest of the fight he's just not quite the same. And I think that's what happened. Calaveras got rocked immediately, and then they just couldn't recover and just got beat up in that game. But now there's a little Busalachi. There's the younger brother, right? And he dominated last year against Calaveras. Now he's up at the varsity, and so watch out.
And we're going to save our picks for the end, but I Calaveras could easily see Linden twice this year. Once over there, and then would it shock me to see them either in the semis or in the section championship game? Not at all. So Linden, I think, is going to be a team where the Calaveras is going to have to square up with twice. And maybe Somerville had to do it too. They ended the season last year with Linden, and then the first round or the second round, they lost to Linden at home.
Yeah.
So I think, from Somerville's point of view and Calaveras' point of view, I think both of them should probably expect to see Linden twice, because Linden's not going to be they're going to be in the playoffs. Either my guess would be the 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed. Probably not 4, probably not 3. So I'm guessing 1 or 2 in there. So you're going to have to see them twice. And that's the way they're looking on paper, like you said, seems like a team that's going to be very tough to beat.
It could definitely be their year.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be. They've had a really close last few years. 8-5 last year, 5-2, third in league. I agree with you. There's no way they're below 4, and I'd say they're 1-2. Not making our picks now, but they have been on the verge like the last several years. And I agree with you with that varsity team coming up. Not just that little Boosh coming up, but there's a lot of other players that did very well that game. It looking good for Linden.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that. Looking good for Linden.
And 2 years ago, when they beat Calaveras so badly, that was a team that, had that been a D7 team, they're, maybe they're having a state championship parade that year. They, much like Calaveras, were D6.
That's a good point.
And it didn't matter because
they ran into that Sonora buzzsaw.
Sonora was going to get it. Didn't matter who. Yeah, I mean they didn't see Sonora in the playoffs, but they wouldn't have beaten Sonora anyway. That Sonora was Sonora. But had they
just being in the same bracket has that effect.
Yeah, and Calaveras, that we saw Sonora that year in the playoffs, and it wasn't good. But had they been D7 that year, like Somerville was, or Calaveras was last year, maybe that team would have been the one. So the culture, kind of like Coach Moses said, the culture is there, and they just haven't collected the hardware yet. But if there was a team to circle and say, if there's going to be a new one to make a deep run, maybe it's Linden.
All right. Well, hey, I had an opportunity to go down to Riverbank and talk to Coach Joe Perillo. Let's find out what they had to say. All right, folks, so now I am with senior fullback and defensive end, number 22, Gabriel Sandoval from Riverbank High School's varsity football team. Gabriel, thanks for spending a couple minutes with me. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So tell me, Gabriel, about your in your own words, how you think last season went, and then your outlook on the upcoming 2026 season for your senior year.
Last season, it was kind of a little disappointing. I wish we could have done much better. I felt bad for the seniors, how we had to send them off that way.
Mm-hmm.
But this season, I love how the team's looking. Morale's high. Everyone just comes together as brothers. I think we really come together as a team this year.
Okay. And then is there anything in particular as far as individually, like a goal that you set for yourself for this season that you think that if I achieve this goal, it's going to help my team win?
I just want to become a bigger leader.
Okay.
A better ball player, and just a team player overall.
Okay.
I feel like whenever I'm playing the game, I kind of put myself out there alone instead of bringing the team with me.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the things I had to work on to be better with the team.
All right. And then now you're a fullback, and then you're also a defensive end. Does those positions on each side of the ball, does it help you one way or the other? So does defensive end help you be a better fullback, or does fullback help you do better on defensive end side?
I definitely think so, because just never hopping off the field, always staying warm.
Mm-hmm.
Just the footwork helps overall both positions.
Okay, excellent. And then looking at the schedule for the coming 2026 season, was there any game that you looked at and you kind of highlighted that one or put an asterisk by and said, ooh, I can't wait for that one?
I definitely can't wait for Bret Hart.
Bret Hart?
Yeah, I'm always excited with Bret Hart. It's always like a close game.
Okay.
And I just love being out there.
You guys beat him last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then are you there this year, or are they coming to you this year? Do you know?
I do not.
Not quite sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So looking forward to the Bret Hart again.
Yeah.
All right. And then any last words out there for all the area football fans that are going to be coming out and watching you guys on Friday night? Something you want them to know? What can they expect from the Riverbank Bruins in 2026?
Just excited and just know we're coming.
All right. Well, hey, we've been listening to senior defensive end and fullback number 22, Gabriel Sandoval from the Riverbank High School varsity football team Bruins. Wish you the best of luck this coming season.
Thank you.
All right, you bet.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm here with center and defensive lineman, senior number 64, Maverick Redmond from the Riverbank Bruins High School varsity football team. Maverick, appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me a little bit about how you felt last season went. You played last season for the team, and then what you think about what your outlook is for the up-and-coming 2026 campaign.
Yeah, so last season, I feel like we expected a lot, and we didn't really live up to it. This season, I really want to get that momentum going, starting from our first game. Hopefully we win that, and then we just keep the momentum going, win a couple more. I think last season we expected too much.
Okay.
Not even the coaches, just the players. We came in really cocky with some of our games and caused us to lose. So my biggest goal is to keep my players humble, and so that doesn't happen again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you play center on the offense, so you're the only other guy besides the quarterback that touches the ball every play.
Right.
Tell me a little bit what it's like to play center on the offense, and getting blocks down and helping your team open up those holes to help your team out.
Yeah, I really love center. I didn't get to touch the ball a lot before I started center, so I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm touching the ball every play. I think it's really cool because me and usually the quarterbacks, we have a lot of chemistry going. And so I feel like that helps a lot with like our exchanges. But I love it. I love center. It's one of my favorite spots. Opening the holes, it's great when it happens, of course.
Sure.
But yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. And then looking at the schedule for the 2026 season, is there any particular game that maybe you kind of highlighted or put in an asterisk by and said, ooh, I can't wait for that one?
Yeah, I'm really excited for River Islands.
Okay.
We
Battle of the Rivers.
Yeah, we I want to say they're like a rival, but it's like really personal to me because I just want to beat them. Like last year, we didn't really get to beat them. It was a close game up to like third quarter, and then it was kind of downhill.
Okay.
And so I want that one back, and I want to beat River Islands.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, we've been talking to number 64, senior center and also defensive lineman Maverick Redmond from the Riverbank High School varsity football team. Maverick, appreciate your time and wish you the best of luck this coming season.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, folks, so now I am talking with the head varsity football coach at Riverbank High School, Coach Joe Perillo. Coach, really appreciate your time. I know this is a busy time of year for you getting your team ready for the upcoming season. Last year, when we did the 2025 Motherlode League preview episode, you were kind enough to send me an email with kind of a synopsis of what you thought the league was and the season was, which I thought you hit it spot on. So I'm really interested in finding out from you what your thoughts are on what happened last season, with the league and with your team, and then what's your outlook for this coming 2026 campaign?
Well, thank you for having me, Coach Val.
Yep.
Looking back at last season, just seeing the amount of teams that we had success in the postseason in our league just really helps establish where our league is at. Calaveras going the distance. You had Linden that was out there that was fighting for it as well. And I thought it finished exactly how we thought it was going to be, 1, 2, 3 with those teams. But Linden was a very big surprise. I thought there was going to be some drop off a little bit with them, but no, they rallied in the middle of the season and was rolling everybody, it felt like, at that point. And just a very good team, well coached, and I thought with the coaching change things will be slipping up a little bit. Not at all.
Yeah.
It was actually something fun to watch in our actual league.
Sure.
As far as how our program went, we did not end up where we wanted to be. We took some we took some struggles along the way. We had some injuries, some to key players at times, but other than that, I mean, it kind of seemed like our chemistry was a little off on our team last year, and some things had to deal with that. Having success the year before that, you get a little bit more players that want to come out but don't know the exact system of the expectations and what's wanted from them, and I think that messed with our little chemistry a little bit on our team.
Sure.
And that's something that we focused on this summer and this spring. We were focused on our team chemistry and that our bond is not something that's going to be break. You're either here or you're not here.
Right.
So
right.
we weeded out a few guys that way, guys that were all league.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the morale and the attitude of our guys right now is in a good spot, knowing what the challenges are in front of them, and they look like they're going to be facing them together.
That's great.
As far as synopsis of the league and everything, top three, they're still there. I mean, you can't bet against Calaveras. You can't bet against Somerville. You cannot bet against Linden. I think they're all going to be battling each other, And it comes down to maybe a penalty call. Ball rolls away.
Injuries.
Anything, man. And it could be either one of those teams. I think the sleeper pick right now would be River Islands. I think that they have made a lot of strides. And come on, Manteca growing the way that they are. Because they could pull kids from there. They pull kids from the River Islands community, from Lathrop community. So
they're not far from Tracy either.
No, they're not. So I mean, they can get kids, and it's a special place to go to if they want to.
Yeah.
I mean, they pulled a kid from St. Mary's last year. That quarterback. I mean, come on. He started at Manteca, went to Sierra, then he ended up at River Islands.
Right.
One of those things is like, hey, this is a place that you might want to come. And they got a new coach who, has coached in a lot of spots. He's more from the Central Valley of Fresno, but with knowing these kids and knowing what it takes to play football, I mean, I think that's they could be a sleeper. They can make some noise.
Gotcha.
I think definitely. Big Valley, come on. Coach Lima and his son's going to be a senior.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think big things are going to happen from both of those. He's always well coached his team, always.
Yeah.
And so they always ready to play, even if they're outmanned. They are always ready to go. So. Just thinking about that and thinking about what his son is actually going to be able to produce this year, I think it's going to be it's going to be up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Should be an exciting season.
Very exciting.
Let's talk a little bit more about your team. Who do you think in the coming season might have an impact that can help, Riverbank be successful in this coming season? Who are some of your players that you think, hey, these guys can really help us?
Well, one of the guys you have talked to, he also wrestles in our heavyweight division. I mean, he's made a lot of noise there. Gabe Sandoval, Big Gabriel. I mean, he's played fullback for us the last 3 years, been a starter the last 3 years. So, I mean, we're expecting him to help lead this team, face through those challenges, face through the adversity. He's battled some injuries over the course of the years too. But we expect him to be that guy that keeps everybody together, keep that bond together.
Sure.
So he's very vocal. As you got a chance to talk to him a little bit, and we expect nothing but the best from him. We enjoy having him in our program.
That's great. Any newcomers, maybe someone up from the JV or some young guys that you think, hey, it's got real potential?
We are very excited about our sophomore class coming up, and we did pull up a couple of freshmen that are going to be sophomores this year to help us out. Mm-hmm. We're expecting them to fill in some key roles for us. We're looking at about a roster size of about 28, 29 guys, so we feel like we're very comfortable with that kind of group. And we did get a transfer in, and he's been pretty special. So we need to make sure we get the paperwork all filled out. But he's a transfer from Lathrop, so I mean, we're expecting big things. Running back, linebacker type.
Nice.
Has a great attitude. There's no problems with him, no behavior issues. I mean, it's what you dream of.
Sure.
So
yeah, you gotta like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Coach, last question: when you take a look at the schedule for 2026. Anybody pop out as saying, hey, that could be a key game there, to turn our season, or to highlight any game or any asterisk by any of that schedule and said, I can't wait for that one?
A few pop out. I mean, God, I can't tell you about this. A month ago, our non-league schedule went to crap. It was just bad.
Right.
Okay. We lost our home game because Sparta double booked somebody because they didn't talk to their head coach. So we lost that game. So we had to find a new one for that one. Richmond decided to go to a JV only, so we had to find a new game there. So we end up picking up a team that Big Valley's going to be playing, Albany in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And then the other game that we picked up is another Bay Area team. man, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but
That's all right.
we got it for our bye week down at the end. I mean, we're trying to look at the other ones. But as far as league goes, you know, Bret Hart, man, that was a very close game last year for us, and then they went in to the bowl game and won it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for us, our guys, they were very upset about, you know, a team that you beat actually gets to go on to the postseason and get to play another game.
Right.
So that's another one of the goals for the guys, you know.
Okay.
We put all our goals together so that we know that what we're trying to achieve. So
Okay, I like it. All right, well, hey, you've been listening to head varsity football coach at Riverbank High School, the Riverbank Bruins, Coach Joe Perillo. Always, you know, be respectful of your time, appreciate your time, and thanks for spending a few moments with us, giving us your insights on the league and the season. Wish you the best of luck in 2026.
Coach Val, thank you for having me.
You got it. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
All right, so Coach Perillo over at Riverbank High School. Comments around Riverbank this coming season?
Well, let's talk about River Islands instead.
No, wrong river. Riverbank.
That was Riverbank?
Yeah.
Why did I think? Well, it's because we're talking about.
It's the bank of an island. Same thing.
Well, like when they play each other, I call it the Battle of the Rivers. And I like to throw a little background music with the Little River Band.
That happened to me in print last year. I wrote a full story and I got my rivers confused. So
yeah,
it happens.
Riverbank.
So we're going to Riverbank.
Riverbank, which isn't quite not quite on the bank. It's a little bit more inland than
not
River
the island.
Islands, but not the island.
I got it.
It's on the
Picture
bank.
yourself floating on a cloud on a riverbank.
There you go. We'll talk about River Islands later.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I found out about Riverbank when I was there. We heard from Gabriel Sandoval, his senior season coming up, and he is a man amongst boys. This young man is a beast. And when he puts that gear on, I believe he plays running back, and he's hard to tackle for any one guy to have to try to tackle him. The big question mark is going to be when teams start to key on him, who else is going to help out Riverbank? Because we know Gabriel Sandoval is going to get his.
Right.
Who else on the team is going to step up and help that team out?
Well, the wins last year for Riverbank were Richmond, and they beat Bret Hart and Millennium.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what we were talking about. There's the top three, who's and then the bottom. And I think we're at the part where we're talking about some of the ones that are going to be fighting for, you know, like I think you said it the best of the rest. Riverbank talking about having, you know, people transfer in and, you know, the hopes and dreams of doing good. There's just they're probably going to go get another 3 wins next year.
The proximity of where their school is from a geographic standpoint, Guy, you had an interesting point, because even when they got really good athletes there, they've got now some competing schools there where a young athlete might go, hey.
Oakdale, Escalon, real close. I mean, it's that's a tough one. But Riverbank.
Good job.
Thank you.
The Bruins.
I'll be here all week. You know, Riverbank is a team that, you know, we've seen them as far as covering Calaveras twice. And, you know, the first time it was, you know, 57-7. Last year at homecoming, it was 63, I think, to 7. They scored on a kick return late in the second half with a running clock. So I think Riverbank is in the same situation as Bret Hart as you know, we'll get to with River Islands. It's schedule your preseason accordingly. You don't need to do what Linden's doing. You don't need to do what Calaveras is doing or what Somerville's doing. They don't need to play Bradshaw. They don't need to play Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Play the teams that you can compete with. So you kind of play the game. You go, all right, if we can get a couple of preseason wins, all right, we got 2 wins. You go in the league, pick a couple there. You know, back when the playoff seedings were 12 or 16, maybe you sneak in there, but you know, now it's 8, so it's going to be more difficult. But yeah, like Coach said, let's get a bowl game. You know, those little victories, and I think that's, you know, very
make it entertaining.
Make it entertaining, but also don't stack the deck against you intentionally. And it's tough that they had such you know, trouble booking your preseason. I mean, we've all been there, seen that with teams where it's like teams drop out or this or that. But you know, they're doing it the right way. Of we know we're gonna have to face the Giants when we face the Giants. There's no way around it. But let's have other games that we can be competitive in, and just try to build excitement and confidence. And if you have to use smoke and mirrors to do it, you use smoke and mirrors to do it. But you know what? That Bret Hart Riverbank game last year, you know, I wrote about it. I watched it. was a good game. It was a good football game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these schools have been missing is just good football games. And look, will it be a good football game when they play Calaveras, Linden, or Somerville? Probably not. Will it be a good football game against Big Valley and Bret Hart and River Islands? Could be. And so, but it's just that culture.
Right.
It's tough to build sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you what, I like Coach Joe Perillo. I like what he's trying to get done there. They had some really good numbers as far as showing up the summer program, the weight program, and what he's trying to do, I really, commend and like that. Now I think that the next, obstacle to get over is when things don't go our way, are we going to hang it up? Or are we going to keep battling and keep fighting? And hopefully a lot of those young athletes, that are going to, on the team, learn how to keep battling and keep fighting and not hang it up.
Well, and also you can look at it and go, how many games last year were we in running clocks?
Right.
Maybe this year, instead of having just, I'm just throwing out there, I don't know what Riverbank did, but maybe they had 6 games of running clocks. Hey, this year we want 2 or less. Because, the Calaveras last year, it was a running clock at halftime.
Right.
And it was homecoming, and it was just not fun for them and not fun for anyone else. So the little victories that I think that they're on, look, they were better last year than they were the first year they were in the MLL.
Sure.
And so it wouldn't surprise me to see them continue that trajectory.
You bet. Okay, so now,
hey, can we do River Islands?
Let's go away from the bank and head over to the islands, and let's talk about River Islands. Let's hear what they had to say.
Didn't we just do that?
So we're talking with senior running back and inside linebacker, Ruiz. What's your first name again?
Lucas.
Lucas Ruiz. I'm sorry, Lucas Ruiz, inside linebacker, running back, number 20 at River Islands High School. He's going to be a senior. Lucas, you played on last year's team. Now you got a new head coach coming in, looking for 2026 and your seniors. Tell me about how you felt last year went, and then what do you see what the goals are for this coming 2026 season?
I think last year we underperformed by significantly. I think we should have did way better than our 4-6 record. I mean, it showed there's a lot of games where in the Delhi game we had 500 yards on offense. You shouldn't lose on 500 yards on offense. I believe that.
Right.
And we lost that game, ended up 12-6. So I just think what we missed last year was a lot of disciplinary actions. And with our new head coach, I think we're way more disciplined. I mean, we can't mess around during practice, like we're in the line. Last year during practice, some people would be in the back talking. We don't do that no more. We pay attention, we listen, and we understand the play that's going on. So I think the key word I say is that we're way more disciplined this year than we were last year, for sure.
Excellent. So, Lucas, tell me a little bit about who do you think, besides yourself, are some of your teammates that maybe have an impact this coming year to help your team take it to the next level?
Definitely Daryl Carpenter, our quarterback, number 12. He was our quarterback last year. I mean, he led our league in many stats. He led the section for a couple weeks in passing yards. So he and the state actually too. So he's honestly a great key player. He's our team captain. I love him. Maybe Isaiah Sanchez, number 8, our defensive line, heart and soul of our defense right there. I mean, he led the section last year in 26.5 TFLs. So I hope he continues that. And one more person I'd say would probably be Christian Deloso, number 3. I mean, he's just fast and shifty. He was our leading touchdown, I think, last year.
Nice.
So he's going to make a great impact for us this year.
Excellent. Okay, Lucas, last question. When you look at the schedule for the upcoming season, anybody you put an asterisk by or a highlight by and said, ooh, we can't wait for that one?
Oh, yes, sir. I got my asterisk next to multiple teams. I got definitely Delhi, Linden, and Somerville. Those are my 3 teams right there. Because I think, in my opinion, Linden is like our rivalry. They're very, they like to say a lot for not really, so they like to talk a lot. So I don't really like that.
Okay.
So that's definitely who I have my little asterisk next to.
Gotcha. All right, I like it. All right, so we've been talking to senior running back and linebacker, number 20, Lucas Ruiz. Wish you the best of luck this coming season.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You got it. Okay, so we are now talking with senior wide receiver and defensive back, number 13, Jaden Young. Jaden, appreciate your time. I know you get ready for the up-and-coming season. Tell me a little bit in your own words about how you felt last year went for River Islands, and then what you're hoping for in this next 2026 season now that you're a senior.
Right. Last year, I think it was a big stepping stone. We didn't really have seniors when we were a freshman team. We didn't have no one to look up to, but last year I feel like our juniors, they did their best they could to show us, like, we're the upperclassmen, this is how we do it around here. And I think that now they set really like a really good example for us, and I think we're good to go this 2026 season. You know, a lot of us, we've been working really hard ever since, you know.
Great. So you got a brand new head coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach Kendall.
Mhm.
Tell me, you know, what do you see that's been different so far this year compared to last year as far as just the coaching change?
I think Coach Kendall, he's definitely, he relit a fire under all of us, and he's getting all of us going. Last year, I don't think we had that drive to get going through like all the way half through the season. We stopped halfway through the season, we like pulled up. But I think with his coaching staff, this coaching staff, especially with Kendall, I think he can push us through all the way, get there. So maybe like an 8-2 season, something way better than a 4-6.
Nice. And when have you set any personal goals for yourself where you feel like if I accomplish this goal, it's going to help my team have success?
Definitely. So last year I had 2 or 3 picks, and this year I'm hoping to get like 5 or 6 more, put my team in a good position, you know, put my offense in a good position to score.
Nice, nice. And then last question, when you look at the schedule, anybody pop out, you highlight, put an asterisk, you go, ooh, start rubbing my hands together.
Yes, sir. Somerville and Calaveras are definitely big games for us. You know, we have I would say a rivalry. You know, we did get blown out a couple of past years, but we've been stepping up. We've been stepping up our game. We've been showing them, yeah, we're here. We're in this league. We're gonna show them this year, though. We're gonna show them.
Okay, so it'll be interesting. So it's number 13, Trevor.
No, Jaden Young.
Jaden Young. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 13 wide receiver DB.
You got it. Number 13, Jaden Young, wide receiver, defense back, River Islands High School.
Yes, sir.
Wish you the best of luck in 2026.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
You have a good one.
All right, so right now I'm talking with head varsity football coach at River Islands High School in Lathrop, new head coach, Coach Kendall.
Nicholas Kendall.
Nicholas Kendall, I'm sorry. Nicholas Kendall, coach, first year as head coach here at River Islands High School. Tell me a little bit about your background, how long you've been coaching, where'd you coach before here, where'd you come from, and tell me about, you know, this coming season, 2026, now you're head coach.
Yeah, I've been coaching since 2011, 2012. I started off in middle school down in Fresno.
Okay.
Moved up into high school ranks there. I was at McLean High School and then Clovis West. Then my wife and I moved from Fresno to Modesto. I was at Lincoln and Stockton for 3 seasons, Modesto Christian for 2, Kimball for 1, and now I'm here.
Okay.
So I believe highly in spread. I like throwing the ball.
Okay.
Run the ball first, right, if you have to, but I love throwing the ball. Like spreading around, it's more fun for the boys. And then where was I going with that?
So offensively, you like to run the spread. That helps me out a little bit because I was going to ask you what could the River Islands fans expect out of the team this year?
Hopefully it's going to be a high tempo spread. The boys are picking it up. I don't know about high tempo yet, but we're getting there.
Okay.
Hopefully we can really get out there and spread the ball out. We got a lot of athletes, so the best way to use them is put them in space and let them fly
Now,
around.
is this your first head coaching gig?
Yes, sir. So I've been a JV head coach before. I was JV head coach at Clovis West for 2 seasons, and then now I got my first head coaching job.
Okay, and so when you say high tempo, I think no huddle.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the goal.
Okay.
But the way they're picking it up right now, we're kind of like muddle right now.
Okay.
Then I guess by the time we get to Calaveras and Linden and the rest of the guys in the league, we should be flying.
So tell me a little bit about that as far as like what do you know about the Motherlode League and, you know, the results from last year, what River Islands has done. You've been in the league now a couple years. What are you expecting in 2026 going into this season?
So from what I know Calaveras won state last year. And from what I've seen from our film, we left a lot on the table last year.
Yeah.
So we can come in, and if we do things the right way, like I've been trying to tell them, as long as we do things the right way, I think we have the athletes to really compete and win it this year.
I saw that film. There's a lot of drop passes. Yeah, that could have turned into touchdowns.
Exactly.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. Coach, coming into 2026, tell me, I know it's early in the season, you're getting your guys ready, but tell me, who do you think could be impactful this year for River Islands for this coming season?
Offensively, I can see our quarterback, Daryl Carpenter, being probably like a league MVP type candidate.
Okay.
True dual threat type of guy. And then on defense, our free safety, Mikey Figueroa. I think so far he's stepped up, he's been the leader, and he has the tools to put guys mentally and physically in the right spot. And he flies around, he has fun, and I like his attitude. He plays with a little chip on his shoulder. So
nice. You got to have that if you can play defense.
Exactly.
And so, final question: you looked at the league. Anybody on the schedule pop out? You go, okay, I can't wait for that game.
Linden. It got kind of chippy when we did 707, so I know our boys are looking forward to that one.
All right, yeah, they're going to be pretty good this year. So they've got a lot of returners, so that'd be an interesting matchup. I like it. Okay, hey, you've been listening to the brand new head varsity football coach at River Islands High School, Coach Nicholas Kendall. Really appreciate your time. I know it's a busy time of year trying to get these guys ready.
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck in 2026.
Appreciate it.
All right. All right, so you heard from brand new head coach over at River Islands High School, Nicholas Kendall. And I'll tell you what, I had this feeling watching these guys practice, like they're going to be really explosive. They got a really good, group of athletes out there. And like Coach Kendall said, if they can, run like a no huddle spread, that could be very difficult for defensive coordinators to kind of stay on top of. At the same time, it's almost, we're talking about River Islands. It's almost, like a riverboat gambler, right? You're out there and you're either hitting the jackpot or going broke.
Right.
And it seems like that might be the thing for River Islands. Are they going to hit the jackpot this season or go broke? Because a lot of the times with those types of athletes and that kind of offense, you're either putting up 50 or going 3 and out a lot, right? I mean, which one are we going to see? That remains to be seen.
Right. What was exciting to me for River Islands was listening to the other coaches. A lot of the other coaches were very praising of River Islands.
Good point.
They're going to be the breakout team. They're going to be the breakout team. And, we know coaches study and hear who's going where and who's doing what. And having at least 2 or 3 other coaches saying, hey, River Islands is going to be no joke this year, coming in 5th last year in the Motherlode. They could be, and I believe they're going to be that breakout team to come and not get in the top 3, but certainly move probably strongly into 4. I was, again, talking about, like we did at the beginning of the show, just the atmosphere and the expectations of those fans and the energy. That's an already established fan base. And I know it was homecoming and whatnot, but that was a really fun game to be at.
Yeah, they definitely have community support and that brand new community, brand new school. It's a beautiful campus. I was out there on the field, and they put up that new press box, a new home side of the stadium, so that's now finished.
Nice.
So it is a beautiful campus and a beautiful atmosphere there.
And that's going to attract people. That's going to attract kids.
Yep.
When it's going to attract people, they are already the biggest school in the MLL. Their enrollment is, for this year, they have it 837.
Wow.
Which is, that's as many as over at Sonora. That's as many as at Escalon. So that's more kids to choose from, so obviously, Big Valley Christian is a private school, so it's, their numbers are going to be smaller anyway, but, River Islands has 4 times as many kids as Big Valley, has more than Calaveras, has more than Linden. So, and you think about Bret Hart with 17 kids, whereas River Islands is going to have a full roster. You're just, the more players you have, the better chance you have at succeeding. And so for a school that's, I believe this is their 4th year of football, already having, 800 and, close to 840 students throughout the school, you're going to get your pick of the litter, and there's bound to be some athletes there.
And there definitely was. I saw some out there when I went out there that day. So there's no doubt that they have talent. I guess where my concerns are going to be from a coaching perspective is going to be in continuity. I think you mentioned the guy earlier, 4th year in existence already on your second coach. Was it fourth year?
I believe it's the fourth
year. Yeah. Second coach. And Nicholas Kendall, he's a young guy. He's got some coaching experience, but I believe this is his first head coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
So new, being kind of, captain of the ship, so to speak. It's kind of a funny thing that they're the Riptide, because I truly believe their season may go where they're, riding high on the waves or completely wipe out. And I'm not so sure there's going to be an in-between.
I might have to steal some of these for print coming up. these Gillisms. I might have to write some of these down.
Talking about, like you said, with Bret Hart having 17 kids, when you have a large roster, yeah, you might not be putting out, top tier, the whole roster, but you're certainly giving people breaks. You're certainly allowing to rotate more. 4th quarter comes around, your starters are fresher, and you could do a little bit more with that. And that's having a large roster. You can fit, a couple, next.
That'll come in big when they play Bret Hart, if Bret Hart's hurting on numbers, right?
Yeah, that's a variable that large numbers help with.
Well, I remember when you were the most hated person at Calaveras football, And it was just because you it was because you were in charge of conditioning. and my goodness, what you but I remember you would run these kids and run them, and you'd keep yelling it's the fourth quarter.
Right.
You know? And that's when you have, you know, a roster of 17, that fourth quarter can be, you know, you're running on fumes because you're playing the whole game. Where if you have a roster, you know, if of 25, 30, that fourth quarter, you got more gas in the tank.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, we could see a lot of differences between teams like Riverbank and Bret Hart and, you know, River Lions. Again, 840 kids for a school that's had a football program for 4 years.
Right.
You know, that's just a built-in advantage.
Fast growth. My defense in that guy is that my philosophy around football is that when mistakes are made, and mistakes are the number one cause of losing football games, mistakes. And when mistakes are made, it's usually due to fatigue. When I get tired, I lose focus. I didn't do my job. I forgot. You're tired and all of a sudden you're not focused anymore. So the number one cure to that is you don't get tired, right? I'm going hard in the fourth quarter just like I did in the first quarter. And that's not a mindset. That's just in preparation.
Yeah, but there was a twinkle in your eye when you said get on the line. I was there those practice. I felt bad for those kids. You were running them like they owed you money. But hey, you know what? And it made good football players. I'll tell you that.
Conditioning is a tactic. It's a tool.
Absolutely.
Just like you go to weight room, just like everything else, you practice the plays. Conditioning is a tool.
And Coach Gill liked to get the kids on the line and run them.
Well, speaking of run them, I ran myself all the way up to Tuolumne.
So good.
And I had a chance to speak with the brand new head varsity football coach, Coach Cole Elkins, out at Somerville. Let's find out, last school in the Motherlode League here. Let's find out what Somerville had to say. All right, folks, I'm at Somerville High School talking with senior offensive lineman and defensive lineman number 56, Braden Bustamante. Braden, thanks for spending some time with me. Tell me a little bit. I mean, you guys went all the way to semifinal last year. Tell me about in your own words, how you felt last year went, and then your outlook on 2026, this coming your senior season.
Last year, felt like we had a pretty solid season. Did have some things that, as a team, we needed to figure out and didn't quite get there. But I think could have definitely done a little bit better, but it was still a solid season. And this year, I'm looking forward to kind of flipping the diameter of the team around, and we have some pretty solid guys on the team, and so I'm excited that they're willing to work, and so am I. So hopefully have a pretty solid season, and go out there and get some wins.
Excellent. Yeah, every time you enter the field, you're trying to come away with the W. I get it. Tell me, have you set any personal goals for yourself that you think that if I achieve this goal, it's going to help my team win?
I would say just coming out and bringing the energy. Like every day, I try and when we're in the weight room, I try and give every guy energy, and I feel like that's gonna help out in the field. Like if something goes wrong, and I'm just there to kind of hype them back up and just get the energy back up. We can keep pushing and keep working. But I feel like too, just how would I say this? Like I don't know. I feel like this year our team is like. We have some really hard workers, so I think that's gonna help us a lot. Like just playing like on the field, off the field, like we're just always working hard in the gym. Like so, I think that's gonna be a pretty good balance for us.
That's great. When you look at the schedule for this coming season, anybody pop out where you kind of highlight that one or put an asterisk and go, "Ooh, I can't wait for that one"? Calaveras. Okay.
Lost past 2 years, it's hard to say, but it's my senior year. So.
Well, I mean, clearly Somerville in the last 3 seasons has said, hey, we're one of the top teams in the Motherlode League. 2 years ago, you guys win state. Last year, Calaveras win state. So last 2 state champions in Division 7 comes out of the Motherlode League. So Motherlode League looking pretty strong. Okay, we've been talking to O-line, D-lineman, senior number 56, Braden Bustamante. Braden, wish you the best of luck in 2026.
Thank you.
You got it. I'm now talking with senior defensive end and offensive guard, Evan Roberson. Evan, tell me you played on last year's team. Tell me a little bit about your feelings on how last season went and then your outlook in 2026, which will be your senior season.
Last year, I would say ended with a pretty sour taste in my mouth. As far as our potential goes as a team, I feel like felt pretty short of that. And not being able to be on the field for the majority of the season also, just kind of watching that season fade away. But as far as this year goes, moving into a senior role is in trying to be as best as a leader as I can, helping our team not just having wins on the field, but also a good dynamic in practice on the field, how we deal with our refs in a respectful manner. Those are all things that I'm hoping that we can move forward to as a team and as individuals this year, and I think overall will help us with our overall performance on the field. And so I'm definitely looking forward to just getting out there and leading the team this year.
Okay, great. And can you tell me, besides yourself, who are some of your teammates that you think you're going to be leaning on this season to help the team have success?
I would say this year, to be honest with you, I think the majority of our team, we got a sophomore quarterback this year, and I'm pumped to see him out there. And him having to rely on the offensive line, which I'm super pumped for, I'm hoping that our offensive line this year can be a sense of pride for our team, someone that our team can look to and trust when they need us most, when we need to get those hard yards, whatever it may be, that they can count on us. Send a guy in there to get those hard 2 to 3 yards, that we'll get that done up front for him. And I know that our running back, Malachi Fromm, looking forward to having him out there. He'll be a senior as well this year, and he's pretty talented dude who I'm looking forward to watching play the running back spot this year. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
Excellent. Hey, like you said, it all starts out up front. You move people on the line, you're going to have success.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, last question, when you look at the schedule for 2026, anybody that you highlighted or put an asterisk that I can't wait for that one?
There's always games that I'm excited for, but to be honest with you, I try to stay as present and focused on our job as possible.
Okay.
Because I think that there's a lot of distractions and other things you can get caught up on that honestly have nothing to do with you. So I think just trying to focus on doing our jobs as efficiently as possible, making sure our assignments are taken care of, and that everyone's doing their jobs correctly. I think that we will be able to be pretty successful this season in moving through and trusting each other. And I think, like Boo said, Calaveras is always one. If I had to pick one, Calaveras is one that's just it's always fun because it's always a dogfight with them. I think it's 2 Motherlode teams and 2 Foothill teams that just show what mountain football is all about,
Absolutely.
Hard hitting and it's a fun game.
I like that mentality, though. Whoever's next, that's my most important game right there. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we've been talking to senior defensive end and offensive guard Evan Roberson. Evan, wish you the best of luck in 2026.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it. Okay, folks, so I am at Somerville High School talking with brand new head coach at Somerville's varsity football team, Coach Cole Elkins. Coach, first of all, congratulations on getting the head coaching gig. Tell our listeners a little bit about your coaching background in the last few years, and then kind of your outlook for 2026 for Somerville Bears.
So, yeah, I started coaching up at the high school in 2019. I in my youth, when I was my senior project when I was in high school, I helped out with the Pop Warner program. I had a younger brother, and I followed their class up to high school. So I think, my senior project, I coached their team. I stayed with them for 3 years, and it just worked out. When they were becoming freshmen is when the graduating seniors were freshmen when I was in high school. So my goal was I didn't want to come back to high school and coach anybody that I went to school with. It's kind of a different respect level.
Right.
So I walked in with a freshman class in 2019. My first year as defensive coordinator for the JV, O-line coach for the varsity. And then the next year, Coach Leveros promoted me to the defensive coordinator varsity.
Nice.
So since 2020, I ran the varsity defense and the JV defense. It's always been my passion. It's my favorite side of the ball is being defense, even as a player.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, from 2020 to 2024, or 2023 was defensive coordinator for varsity, and then had a kid, got married, had to step down.
Life happens.
Little more time at home was needed, so
Sure.
I just did, ironically, the state championship year. I stepped down and did just the JV defense, got back involved with Pop Warner. It was a lot less time for me. It was just easier schedule for me, but was still involved with all of the kids and
Sure.
state team. It was an awesome run for them.
You bet.
Most successful season Somerville's ever had under any coach, but especially with Coach Leveros, it was awesome to see.
You bet.
Because he was my coach. And then, yeah, so last year, coached just the JV, but I called both sides of the ball. Got a little bit more offensive experience under me.
Gotcha.
And
Now,
yeah, just waltzed.
now this year, are you planning on calling the offense for the varsity?
So this year I'm assisting with the offense, but I'm still the defensive coordinator.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I'll be the defensive side of the ball. My offensive coordinator this year is Jesse Oliva.
Okay.
He's been coaching with us for the last 3-4 years now. So, no, I'm excited for what's to come.
Now, should the Somerville Bear fans look for like a whole complete brand new offense under the Elkin regime here, or is it going to be a little bit more similar to what they've been used to the past couple of years?
I would say it's a marriage of what we've been doing.
Okay.
But with some, obviously with a head coach that was an O lineman, D lineman.
Okay.
I'm not going to be afraid to shrink the box, let the big boys go to work.
Yeah.
You know.
Let the big boys eat.
Yeah. On the rock for 3-4 yards of play, we're not going to be scared to shrink up and go big.
Gotcha. Coach, last year 8-3 overall, 5-1 in the Motherlode League. You beat Linden late in the season in week 9 by a point. Then 2 weeks later, lost them in the semifinal game.
Yeah.
Tell me in your own words how you thought last season went, and then what's kind of the mindset moving in now into 2026.
Yeah, I think I actually think Evan had a good way of saying it. That just the end of the year left a sour taste in everybody's mouth. I think.
Sure.
And that could be true, for the graduating seniors, but especially the returners who had the chance to kind of flip the script on how they want their year to end. We graduated quite a few kids.
17.
Yeah, so that being said, we have a very eager senior class right now, and there might not be as many of them. I think we have 11 or 12 right now, seniors, so we lost, we're losing 5 total, numbers-wise. But just the beginning of the year meeting I had with them, from how they want to be on the field, off the field, how they want to be looked at by the community, by the school, by the officials, they want to right any wrong that's been made in any Somerville name, and the kids have really taken initiative. They've been showing up all summer. Like I said, we don't have as many numbers, but the summer numbers we had, we're 90 to 100% attendance every day.
That's fantastic. So let's talk one more thing around that. We talked about all of the graduating seniors, 17. That means a lot of these younger guys are going to step up and do something to help this program. Tell me a little bit about maybe some of the players that you think could be impactful for this coming season in 26.
Yeah, so starting off with Evan, who you interviewed, he was kind of a fullback body last year. He was suffering an injury throughout the year, so he's going to take leadership role. He's becoming an O-lineman. One of our juniors, a kid that was up as a sophomore last year, Carter Lee, in the backfield is going to be a stud running back for us. Malachi Fromm's taking a more predominant role in the backfield as a back. And then, really I have to give kudos to the rest of our O-line.
Yeah, you bet.
Braden Bustamante, Jeremy Stone, Isaiah Eccles, Bryce Bailey, they all are really filling into their roles and understand that their unit is where we're going to hang our hats.
Yeah, you bet. So, Coach, last question, and I asked everybody. Some coaches answer it no problem. Others are like, eh. But when you look at the schedule, anybody that pops out and says, all right, that could be a pivotal game for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, if you go back to old school MLL days,
right,
there's no hiding the fact that there's always been a Somerville, Calaveras little. If you want to be the best Somerville team, you got to be Calaveras.
Right.
And everybody in the league, I think, understands that when you're talking Somerville, Calaveras, Linden, all have had tight games in the last few years.
Sure.
We beat them, they beat us. I think that little trio right there is going to be exciting, not just in league, but you're going to see them in the postseason.
That's absolutely correct.
So,
yep.
It's like I've told the boys, if you contend with Calaveras and Linden, you contend for sections.
Absolutely.
You contend for sections after what we've seen the last couple of years.
We got a good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to those games. Looking forward to everybody in league.
Sure.
That's my first year.
Absolutely.
And then honestly, week 1 against Ripon Christian.
They're tough.
So,
yep.
So you go from Somerville, who wins state 2024, comes Ripon Christian week 1 and gets upset.
Yeah.
So that game is going to be something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a heck of a way to start the season.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've been listening to brand new head varsity football coach at Somerville High School, Coach Cole Elkins. Coach, really appreciate your time. I know you're busy trying to get your team ready, but we appreciate you, and I wish you the best of luck in 2026.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. All right, so the new head varsity football coach over at Somerville High School, Coach Cole Elkins. Guy, you're a Somerville guy. Tell us a little bit about what you think the Somerville Bears' plight will be in 2026.
Well, I've known Cole for a long time. I covered him, which that you want to feel old. It's when you covered a guy when he was in high school, and now he's a head coach, married with 2 kids. And you go, man, where's the time gone? But
they'll do it.
I remember when the job came open, and I texted him right away saying, I hope you apply. And it's because I feel, the culture over there was nothing to be proud of for a couple of years. When we saw him against Calaveras last year, 200 plus yards and penalties, the majority of them personal fouls.
Right.
A lot of stuff that, you shouldn't be proud of. And I truly believe that Cole will change that. I believe that he will have his guys ready to go. It's Tuolumne tough for a reason, but I don't expect the same after the whistle nonsense that has happened the last couple of years. I think they're going to be as tough and physical as ever. But once the whistle blows, I don't think we're going to have the issues that have had the last couple of years. And the good thing, he's aware of it. He saw it. He was, obviously down on the JV last year, but you see that stuff and you hear things, and I'm sure that got brought up in his interview. And so I was happy that he got the job just to change the way that people look at Somerville. It's one thing to look at a school and say, that's, let's take, an Oakdale by example. That's a school where good football is played.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to be known for that's a school where cheap shots happen. And that's where, so I think he's going to do a good job of getting Somerville back to just being, you don't want to play them because they're, again, like Calaveras, because they're going to hit you in the mouth, not because you're going to get, there's going to be extracurricular activities. And I think that's a welcomed change from what we've had the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think you're right. I found it interesting that the couple of players and the coach himself, brought it up in the interviews that they recognize how they've been looked at and, the changes that they want to make. At the same time, be aggressive. I think they're going to definitely be still a very tough, good football team. They've got a lot of returning linemen on both sides of the football. When I was leaving the school and headed back to my car, I got guys coming into practice, and I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, holy smokes, look at the size of that kid. And so they've got some dudes. I think the big question mark is going to be this sophomore quarterback that's going to be at the helm for them. And, they've got some senior leadership offensively and defensively in the skill spots, and at the lineman spots, they're going to be a solid, good Motherlode League football team. And the question is, if they're going to continue like they've been the last couple of years, that means that sophomore quarterback's going to have to grow up really fast, or it might be a rebuilding year.
Well, and I think about, what Manny Mosa said to me a couple of years ago about passing, because, we like seeing the ball through the air. We like, it's fun. Passing is fun. And Calaveras is known as a run-first team, but he said he wants to be at the point where we throw when we want to, not when we have to, or not because we have to.
That's right.
And I think that's what, Somerville might be doing this year. You don't want to ask a sophomore quarterback, hey, go and throw it 30 times. You want it to be 7, 8, 9 times, but when we want you to throw it, not because we have to.
Right.
And with a good offensive line, I believe, Cole said that he's got 4 seniors on the offensive line that are starting. That's a good place to start. Where when you do have to drop back, it's not going to be a jailbreak, and if you can rely on your running game to get behind those big linemen and chew up some yardage, that just makes life so much easier for a quarterback as well.
Yeah,
You bet.
I agree with both of you guys about going back to the penalties. That this is a high school game with high school players, and we've talked about this before on the field, Gil and Dossi, I know you have too. We're preparing these young men for life, and
Sure.
and when that type of stuff happens, that's not preparing them for how life is. And I'm glad that the coach addressed it. He's a new coach to varsity, but he's not a new coach to the program. So it's going to be really interesting how much of a tolerance he has for the shenanigans,
Mm-hmm.
and because that could absolutely cost you a game, in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
But he's also in a tough spot because he's taken over for a program that 2 years ago won a state title.
Right.
And so
expectations
Yeah.
are there.
the grace period, well, yes, we want our gentlemen to be, but also we want to win football games because that's what we've had since, Somerville since, after we got back from COVID has been, the team in the Motherlode League. And, that expectation. So he's got that weighing on him of, hey, we're still here to win games because that's, if you're losing games, people are going to start saying, well, was he the right call? So there's going to be some pressure on him to produce, like you guys said, quality young men, but also to produce the victories because, not fighting for a league title. That's what the expectation now is in Tuolumne, and anything other than that won't sit well.
I'm glad he at least acknowledged it.
Yeah.
That was huge. I thought that was, you never want to talk bad about prior staff or whatever, but I thought that was a really, really grown up thing to say and take ownership of.
Well, anyone that was there for that Calaveras game,
God Lord,
it was, and that was the problem was too. I mean, that was a packed house at their place. There was no hiding. There's sometimes, if you have something like that, you're at Gustine,
Yeah.
maybe, but on your home field and you lose, it was a rough night for anyone for the Orange and Black. So,
And you could feel, in the crowd, it was definitely, you could feel almost like this isn't good.
and look, and there's games we've all been a part of where you just go, ref, keep the flag in your pocket. You don't have to call holding on every play. You don't have to, okay, a guy flinched. You don't have, but these are personal fouls where the refs, his hands are tied. It's like, what am I supposed to do? He got hit after the play, or you mouthed off, or you did A, B, and C. That just, and when you have,
7 seconds after the play.
but when you have 1,500 people in the stands that all saw it, it's not everyone's going to see that holding call, but everyone sees the extracurricular activities.
Holding PI, those are kind of subjective.
And but also, Manny Moses said this a number of times that was when he knew his team was great because they went there, they handled business. They beat the defending state champs, and they didn't get involved in that.
They didn't respond.
There was no response.
Kind.
And that's what he was.
Didn't lose their focus.
He was more proud of the way, and I love that he brought this up a number of times, that he was more proud of the way his kids conducted himself that night than he was the fact they actually won the game.
Yeah.
And the fact they won, I'm sure, was up there too with
that
them.
Helps.
But,
that helps quite a bit.
So it will be interesting to see the culture that Somerville brings when we see them at Calaveras later on this fall.
You bet. All right, so hey, we talked with all 7 head football coaches, some of their players. Let's move on and talk about if we think there's any surprises. I have some notes here, and without giving away your guys' picks completely, let's see if we can address some of these. Will anybody in the league surprise us this year?
Yes.
Who?
River Islands.
I agree. I think River Islands might be a surprise.
I think surprise is a sliding scale.
Okay.
I
slide it to the point where you can answer the question.
That was a dodge. Ole.
I don't think there's going to be, for me, and it's because I cover Bret Hart as well, a pleasant surprise would be if the Bullfrogs can have 5 wins on their season between preseason and the regular season. If they can have 5 wins, that would be a welcome surprise. Or fine, you want a surprise? Here you go. Linden doesn't finish in the top. Linden finishes in the not 1 or 2.
Okay.
That would be a surprise to me.
Okay.
Here's the next one. Again, without giving away totally all your picks, as we're going to get there in a minute. Will there be a new member of the top 3 that we've seen in the last 2 years?
No.
Okay. River Islands in their up-tempo, explosive spread offense, is that going to be sustainable all season long?
I mean, it depends who they play. What could be bad is your River Islands. You're excited to play Calaveras. You have your up-tempo offense. You go 3 and out, give the ball to Calaveras, who says, all right, now we're going to take 8 minutes off the clock.
Right.
Run down and score a touchdown. So I think they'll need to gauge on their opponent and who they are. Because all right, maybe against a Riverbank we can do this and know that maybe our defense can get the ball right back. So I think it depends week to week on who they're playing.
I would hope as a new coach that he's flexible enough to know when something's not working, and with a large roster, like I said before, could that work? Fresh guys, fresh legs every play. It could be beneficial.
Okay. In my view, Calaveras is definitely, a strong contender in the Motherlode League this year. If there is a area of concern, it's the offensive line, because losing Buddy Kavanaugh, Michael Crandall. Can Calaveras fill the gaps on that decimated offensive line?
Well,
I think. Go ahead.
Oh no, I remember last year going into the season, our favorite old coach, Scott Anderson. I said, "Coach, how you feeling?" He goes, "Oh, if we only had 2 or 3 more linemen, we could be really good." Well, I'd hate to see what they would have been last year with 2 or 3 other linemen. I mean, but that's the thing. Coach Anderson's, if he's not the best in the game at what he does, there's not a lot of people in front of him. So if there's someone that I think can take a line and make it very good, he's coaching at Calaveras.
You bet.
I would agree with that 100%, and I would say that the play calling, the synergy that coaching team has, they can play calls that are beneficial to what they have.
Okay. Will Coach Mosa talked about when there's a head coach and the quarterback's the son, that dynamic that makes them pretty good. Is that going to be the difference now that Travis Lima, since it's in his senior season, that dad-son combo at Big Valley, is this the year that they make a big difference?
I think that's a double-edged sword with the dad-son combo.
Okay.
If things are going good and things are, I could see the dad and son combo doing okay, but I would worry that a coach in that position my son's last year might have dad decisions work their way into the coaching arena.
I don't think so. I think he needs an offensive line. He needs guys to catch the ball. He needs guys to run the ball. He also needs a defensive line to stop the run, and defensive backs. You're only one piece.
A lot of variables.
Now you could be a very good piece, but just because your old man's the coach doesn't make you and you're a senior doesn't mean that, hey, we're gonna go win it all. I think what it more is that he's a 3-year starting quarterback who knows the offense. Same thing we could say about Cohen Curran.
Sure.
As a sophomore, would you want him starting for you in a big game? Hey, he's a sophomore. He's never been there. Now as a senior, you feel real good about Cohen back there. Same thing with Lima at Big Valley. I think it's more beneficial having a 3-year starting quarterback who knows what his role is, more so than he just happens to be the coach's son.
Good point. Will Gabriel Sandoval at Riverbank be enough to get Coach Perillo's team to the next level?
Kind of like what Guy just said, you need supporting cast.
You need more than that?
I've heard it said before, you have 11 guys doing 11 different things on every play, and if you can't be, Atlas, you cannot hold up the whole team.
Okay.
And you're still getting, there are teams in this league that like to hit. And if you want to be a running team and you're a running back, you got to be ready to take those hits week after week after week. And we saw it with Linden last year in the home game against Calaveras. Those guys got hit, and they were tapping their helmets in the first quarter to get out, and that was with a good line around, and so obviously he's the guy at Riverbank, but you gotta protect him a little bit, because there's some dudes in this league who like to come down and hit hard.
Okay, last one. Can Bret Hart have a breakout season after the high of winning a bowl game at the end of last season?
Did you call it a bowl game?
Yeah. Okay. That's what the CIF called it.
Can.
Well, in anything involving humans, anything can happen. I would say not likely.
Okay. Guy?
If they're healthy and if they call up if they bring up some JV kids who are hungry and want to play and be contributing members of a varsity team, I think they can fight for fourth place, in that region. But that team is 2 injuries away from being in real trouble. So again, but also for Bret Hart, a breakout season could be going, could be 3 league wins too.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they last year they had a couple of wins, but it just wasn't what they wanted. So I think Bret Hart is still, they're staying above water the best they can, knowing that there's reinforcements coming in a couple of years. But as far as this year, I think just like I mentioned earlier, how many games can we not have a running clock in?
Right.
I think that's something. And how many games can we say, hey, we're Coach Quinn saying, I'm needing to be strategic with my play calling in the fourth quarter. I think that's something that they should be shooting for.
Okay. All right. So, hey, let's move on and talk about now touching that crystal ball. What's going to happen? And I know, who was it? I think it was you, Guy, that questioned about what was said last year. So, you know what? I'm going to address that issue right now. We're going to go through our picks for the 2026 season. But before we do, let's revisit what we said last year. Greg, let's start with you.
Number 1, Calaveras. Number 2, Linden 3, Big Valley 4, Riverbank 5. I'll go Bret Hart 7, River Islands, and Millennium.
We skipped 6.
Did I skip 6?
So, hey, counting is hard. Okay, that's why I write.
Use your fingers.
Numbers are tough.
Somerville, Linden,
Somerville, Calaveras.
Somerville, Calaveras, Linden, and then Big Valley, Riverbank, Bret Hart, River Islands, Millennium. I'm not even putting numbers on them.
Who needs numbers? They're overrated. I agree.
Okay, Guy.
I'm gonna go back.
So real quick, Gil, for the record, I'm going to also lodge a complaint similar to Guy. I'd like to know where you got the AI software to dub my voice for last year's picks. Thank you.
That was a nice try. So looking at last year's picks, Greg, picking Somerville to win it all was wrong. Picking Calaveras was in second was wrong. On the bottom end of it, River Islands, Bret Hart, Riverbank, all wrong. So you got 5 wrong. So yeah. So now let's move on. It's a new year, 2026. Greg Stark, your picks for 2026.
2026. All right. I'm going to go with Calaveras. Again, staying away from the numbers. Calaveras, Linden, Somerville, River Islands, Big Valley, Riverbank. Bret Hart, Riverbank.
Interesting. Okay, so you got Calaveras winning the Motherlode League, Linden in second, Somerville in third, River Islands, Big Valley, Bret Hart, and Riverbank.
Yeah, I think River Islands, just going with what the coaches said. I think that's going to be my that's my wild card right there.
Okay, no problem. Now, Guy, earlier you mentioned
I defy you. I defy you to see where I didn't pick Calaveras. And it is a fake. These are deep fakes.
You can jump on my complaint.
But it's not there. That's the thing. You don't have, as the kids say, you don't have a receipt.
SEC, I'd like to have you guys review this tape.
No, I don't. But what I do have is audio. Let's listen to what you said last year.
Allegedly.
Okay.
The old
yes.
Save it. Number 8 is going to be Millennium.
Correct.
Number 7. Thank you. See, you can just keep.
Number 7.
I bet you're gonna like this one. Number 7, River Islands.
Wow, you on a roll?
There we go. Number 6 is Bret Hart. Number 5 is Riverbank. Number 4 is Big Valley. Now here we get to the 3.
Right.
We're not gonna have a tri-champ this year. We're not gonna have a co-champ this year.
Okay.
We're gonna have a single champ. Number 3 is going to be Linden. Number 2 is going to be Calaveras, and number 1 is Somerville. And my prediction with Somerville is they're going to go 15-0 section NorCal state championship again.
Right. I think they had a phenomenal season. The reason why I don't think they're going to beat Calaveras is their postseason run was in Division 7. And I think I can argue that Division 6 playoff bracket was a much tougher bracket than the Division 7. And so for Calaveras, iron sharpened iron, I think in the playoffs, you're right, Somerville may go all the way again if they're in Division 7. But when it comes to the head-to-head against Calaveras, that's a different That's
and
a
look,
different game.
I despise it when people say, yeah, well, that's D7, D6, D whatever.
Right.
Because you're put in the brackets you're supposed to be. Yes. If Somerville was put in the same division last year with Sonora, Houston, Bradshaw, I don't know if they get out of if they reach the championship game. I don't know if they even make it to the semis. That's not their business. They're put where they're supposed to play.
Right.
But I'm going to go out on I'm going to say it's out on a limb because I just think that if they're D7, and if this game was at Calaveras, it would be different. But it's just so hard.
Greg, you mentioned that even Coach Weatherby always used to say, right? Or you mentioned
14 points,
right? That they're better when they're at home.
Yeah, the voodoo is real.
Except when I played over there, there was no. we were about 14 points worse every game. But no, but that's if it was at Calaveras, I'd say it would be different. But I just think that Somerville, they know that their window is closing as far as being state level good. It's still open, and this is a season. I see them going 15-0. Now that doesn't. I'm not saying Calaveras isn't going to be a good team. I think Calaveras we will be in the playoffs, and you know what, Gail, if we're 8-2 again and have the 11 seed, I'm gonna need you to drive me to the games because I'm gonna have 6 or 7 Guinness and be complaining the whole time. But I think Somerville's gonna be a very, very good, unbeatable team this year.
I think they're a good football team. They got a great program. What I contest with and what I take contention with is I don't believe that their run in their Division 7 playoff bracket is an argument of why they should beat Calaveras, or why they should win the Motherlode League for that matter. I think that's two different arguments.
Right.
One can't. Right.
Right, and it's a fun argument to have too. But also they could look and say, hey, look what we did to Linden. And look what Linden did to
that's
did
true.
To Calaveras.
That's true.
And Linden was the 4 seed in
and I guess if we were going to sit here and get our calculators out and start going through all the analytics, I'd work for the CIF.
Oh, what?
Could you change the rules?
Boy, and on that note, no, but I think either way, there's some games on the schedule that you're not going to want to miss, and that Somerville game is going to be one of them.
Absolutely, and so that game is going to be on Friday, October 3rd. Okay, so Mr. Dossi, looking at last year's picks, I'll use the old Bob Euchre line. With those picks, you were just a bit outside.
It's amazing what technology can do. How you got AI to not only make those bold, terrible predictions, but to also throw in Guinness. I mean, my
totally
goodness.
Out of character. I have never.
This is. I'm frightened that the technology can be that way.
Okay, so Somerville going 15-0 and winning it all again. You were clearly wrong there. Picking Calaveras second, you were wrong again. On the bottom, Riverbank, Bret Harte, River Island, all wrong. So you actually tied Greg in having 5 wrong.
Did I get? But I got Linden right. So
you did get Linden.
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
You did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this year,
what are your 2026 picks?
Calaveras is going to go undefeated. They're going to win the section championship, the NorCal championship, the state championship. They're going to win the college football championship. They're going to go and win the Super Bowl, and they'll also win the Pro Bowl, and they might even win the World Series. Okay, so
galactic champions.
They're going to win it all, and they're not going to give up a point. So that way, does that make you feel better?
No, I just want you to actually maybe pick a winner once.
Me too.
Okay, all seriousness.
It's funny. My in-laws say the same thing to my wife.
Oh, okay, your 2026 Motherlode League pick, Sky Dossi.
I think Linden is number 1. I think Calaveras is number 2. Somerville's number 3.
Correct.
Big Val. See, hey, we always get the 3rd place team. Always get that one. My goodness. Big Valley is number 4. River Islands is number 5. You know what? I'm going to give my Froggies some love. I think we're going to go Bret Harte, then Riverbank.
Okay. Now, the winner of last year's picks.
But hold on. Can I also say that? Can I also say though? Can I also say I'm not making plans the Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving.
I like it.
Okay?
I like it.
All right. So if there's
I like
people,
it.
oh, you don't pick them to win the league, I am not making plans the Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Book it.
All right. What did Coach Val say last year? Well, I'll tell you what. You should be listening because I nailed it. Here we go. It's going to happen, right? They don't want to know, well, maybe and kind of, and who knows. You know, this is what's going to happen this year, and I'll start. All right. I know you're high on Somerville, and you should be. I mean, section champs, state champs, all that good stuff. But they lost to Calaveras. They lost by 1 point, but everybody who was there and watched the game knew it should have been by more than 2 touchdowns. And the only reason why it was only by 1 point was by some very high ratio, like low probability, 2 onside kicks in a row, all this stuff that like is very not probable to happen that allowed them to get that close and get back into the game. If Calaveras kept their focus and kept playing the way they did in that first half, Calaveras wins that game 2, maybe even by 3 scores, and wins the game handily. So I believe this year the question marks around Linden, new play caller, new quarterback, now the information about their quarterback being out for the first 5 games. They're a big question mark to me. I think it's going to be the Calaveras Somerville game that dictates the Motherlode League champion, and I think Calaveras is going to win that football game, and the Calaveras will outright win the Motherlode League championship. So I have Calaveras being in first, Somerville in second, Linden in third, Big Valley right behind them, Riverbank behind Big Valley, River Islands behind Riverbank, and then Millennium and Bret Hart bringing up the rear. I hope you're right, but they got to start winning football games for me to change my tune on that. So that's my picks for the 2025 Motherlode League. Greg?
I'm
All right, so I got the top of the order all
terrible.
correct. The bottom of I got wrong.
Oh my gosh, you're terrible. Those yeah, and also we don't know when that was recorded. This magic, he could have done that 2 minutes before we got here.
I think
goodness.
he did 2 minutes after the state game.
Oh, I would pick 4 wrong.
Just to
You
put
got
us
to keep
off
it
the scent.
believable. You got to put a little truth to keep it
See,
believable.
that's your problem, not believing in the Bullfrogs over Millennium.
So I got 4 wrong. The bottom 4 I inverted and got wrong. All the rest I got correct. So only 4 wrong compared to both of your guys is 5 wrong, which thus makes me the winner. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now, what has Coach Val got to say for 2026 in the Motherlode League? I'm going to tell you, and I call this segment looking at my crystal ball. So that's exactly what I'm going to do right now, guys. I'm going to look into my crystal ball, and I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. Are you ready? Here we go. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. I'm looking at my crystal ball. It's a little foggy. Wait a minute. I'm starting to see an image. It's starting to come in more clear. What is this? It's Greg Stark, and he refuses to give up his yoga pants.
They're comfortable.
All right, so we know that much. All right, let me shake it up here. Let me continue to look. Get through these clouds. I see another image. It's coming in clear. There it is. It's Guy Dossi picking his 2026 picks for the Motherlode League using a magic 8-ball. What's the answer? Not likely. Will Guy Dossi pick a winner? The 8-ball says not likely. All right, Crystal Ball. What's Coach Val's picks? Here it is. It's coming to me. In 7th, sorry, they're just not there yet. It's going to be Bret Hart. In 6th, Riverbank. In 5th, River Islands. And I'll tell you what, if there's going to be a year that somebody breaks in to that top 3, it would be this year, I think. But the crystal ball just won't let me do it. It's going to be Big Valley in 4th, Somerville in 3rd, and then 2nd, even though on paper it looks good, it's going to be Linden. I got Calaveras winning it all again. I've got, with all those returning skill positions, all those young guys, and Guy, you said it earlier, with a 30-plus year guy and Scott Anderson, he'll make an average player, a good player, a good player, a great player. There's some spots there on that offensive line, but I think that he's going to get it addressed, and they're going to be the team to beat in 2026. That's looking into our crystal ball. Guys, any other final comments?
It sure would have been nice to have some sound effects for ours. I just think so.
Does that crystal ball agree with me that making plans a couple days after Thanksgiving wouldn't be a wise thing?
I agree.
I'd say so.
I agree. Absolutely, 100%.
I think
I'll steal that one from Coach Doug Clark.
100%. Well, I do real quick because I have no shame. This is the Motherlode preview.
Yes.
We got kickoff in 1 week.
Yes.
But let me tell you, the night before kickoff, that Thursday afternoon,
the 27th,
check the Calaveras Enterprise. There's going to be full stories about Calaveras and Bret Hart, player stories, lots of stuff to read about the upcoming season. I'm working on the big Bret Hart and Calaveras football previews right now, so please go out and get it because you're going to see some good stuff about the two Calaveras County football teams the night before we start the season.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Guy. You always do a fantastic job in Calaveras County football. I want to thank both Greg Stark and Guy Dossi for coming, spending their time with us to do this 2026 Motherlode League preview. I appreciate you guys both very much and everything you do for the Calaveras football community. Appreciate you both.
My pleasure.
I want to remind all our listeners out there, next Friday, the 28th, the defending Division 5A state champs, the Calaveras varsity Red Hawk football team, will be on the road to start their 2026 campaign at perennial powerhouse Bradshaw Christian. They're going to get it going. It is football season. Every Friday, be sure to tune in to the Let's Talk Football with Coach Val podcast. And be sure to follow the Instagram page on Instagram and Facebook. Let's Talk Football with Coach Val. And be sure to get yourself a copy or go online to the Calaveras Enterprise and the CalaverasEnterprise.com. Always a fantastic job, Guy, that you do in covering Calaveras football and Calaveras sports, along with Bret Hart football and covering everything in Calaveras County. We appreciate you. Until next time, we are out.
Let's talk football
with Coach Val.
Let's talk football
with Coach Val.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football
with Coach Val.
Let's talk football
with Coach Val.
Let's talk football
with Coach Val.
Let's talk football.
Slot formation. Juarez, the pistol back. There goes Bell. He's looking to throw. Throws off to his left side. It's going to be intercepted. I believe that's number 22, Ryan Clifton, who's got some rumor on the left side. The 10, the 5. Touchdown, Calaveras.
Ryan Clifton with a great play on the ball. The quarterback, he undercut that route and just picked it off and took it, 45, 50 yards up the field. A great play by Clifton.
Let's talk football. Let's